Oh, it just went live. Wow. All right, let me make sure that this thing is working properly. I never know what's going on here. And why is it saying HD? All right, I don't know. I don't care. But hey, I just got the notification from YouTube. What's up, you all? It's Friday night. It is Friday night, and we are live out here on the YouTube as we usually are Friday night. But unfortunately, we have to begin this live stream differently than what I would normally begin the live stream because I want to have a moment of silence for Paloma. For those of y'all who are not aware, what is happening here? Oh, I'm being stupid. Our friend El Jefe lost his wife this week, unexpectedly, which is it's I don't really know what to say. It's just sad. I knew she was dealing with some health issues, but she seemed to be battling pretty fairly from what I knew. But unfortunately, we lost her this week, and I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that. And my prayers are with El Jefe and his family as they grieve, man. I can't even imagine what the dude is going through. But on a positive note, he put out a GoFundMe for the funeral arrangement for his wife, and he was able to raise 3 times the goal amount of what they put out there. So shout out to all of you all who took the time out of your day to donate to his GoFundMe to help pay for their funeral arrangement. I chipped in myself, and it looks like a lot of us did, and I am just so happy that that was one less thing that he had to worry about given what's happening with him and his family right now. So shout out to all of you all who supported El Jefe. You know that's my dude. Man's like a brother to me. I joke about him being my head of security. He's always in my live streams. If he's not a guest on the stream, he's watching, he's lurking, making sure everything is going good and cool. I had the pleasure of meeting his wife back in 2018 at Vid Summit. She is the kindest, sweetest person. I'm not going to talk about her in the past tense because I'm not comfortable doing that, but she was awesome. And for the brief time that I met her, she was nothing but kind to me, and she was cool. And it's just sad to hear what happened. But Paloma, hopefully you're watching. I know you'll be taking care of our boy Jeff. Hope you are rested in heaven up there. You will definitely be missed. With that out the way, with that point of order, I guess we should get into the proper introduction of this live stream because we have a very serious topic that I'm going to address tonight. We'll get into it once I get this intro out the way. But yeah, where's the? Hold on, where's my? I'm missing something here. Where's the chat? Like, what is going on here? There's the chat. Okay, there we go. Like, what's happening here? Why am I? I thought I was organized. Apparently, I'm not organized. But all right, here we go. Okay, it's gonna be a little hard to do an intro after that, but yeah, you know what? We will do our best. So, current time 6:33 p.m. Central Standard Time, which means you are in the right place. You are on the right YouTube channel, baby. Yes. And we're about to have a very serious conversation tonight. But I'm glad that we got 23 people watching on the live right now. So for those of y'all who are not familiar with how I do things, or for those of y'all who somehow catch the replay, which I'm guessing because of the topic, there might be a lot of replay catchers of the live stream. This is the part where I'm going to need you to turn your volume down. Because if you don't turn your volume down, I will not be held liable for what your neighbors think about you listening to some loud dude on YouTube. That's on you. That's on you, not on me. That's not on you, Viper. That's on you, not on me. That's on you, not on me. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this introduction. Let's go through the roll call, and then, oh boy. Woo, we got to dive right in. We got to dive into it for the night. It's going to be crazy. But, all right, let's go to work. It's going to be weird. Okay. Woo. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and we are welcome to Friday Night Fight, baby! Woo! Woo! Oh, yeah! It is that day again! We are back! We are live on YouTube! Woo! Oh, man, I had to go down deep for that one, but we're in the building. The plane has taken off. So before I get started with tonight's festivities, let me see who I got in the chat tonight. First on the list is Jason C. What's up, my dude? How you doing? We got Jonathan Rash down there. What's up, Jonathan? Good to see you. How you doing? We got the Tech God in here. What's up, man? How you doing? We got the Tech Enthusiast in the building. What's up? How you doing, man? Joseph Ockbrood is here too. What's up, Joseph? How you doing, baby? What's going on? We got where we go? We got Dennis Carlson here. Hey, Dennis, how you doing? Good to see you, my dude. Okay, I missed something. Where'd he go? Okay, I missed everybody. Okay, hold on. Let me go back up here. My enforcer, Janosis, is in the cut. What's up, bro? How you been? What's going on? We got the Norwegian sensation, LVD. What's up, bro? How you doing? Good to see you. Jeff Hale is here. Always good to see you, man. What's going on, Jeff? Let me keep growing. Okay, I got Dennis. We got Don Colvin out here. What's up, Don? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Ace Rock Tech. Hey, Ace, how you doing, man? Good to see you, my dude. What is going on? We got Jay Stan out here, too. What's up, Jay Stan? How you doing? And the man himself, El Jefe Review. Jeff, man, I can't believe you're even here tonight, man. But it's good to see you, my dude. Once again, I don't even want to apologize. Apologies are so, empty, but you know my love with you and your family, my dude. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just rough. I can't even imagine, man. I can't even imagine. BG, what's up, man? How you doing? What's going on, BG? Good to see you. Pat Tech, what's up, Pat? How you doing? What's going on? Good to see you up in here. Who else we got? Let me keep going. Let me keep scrolling. Wisdom Empire is here. What's up, Wisdom? How you doing? What's going on? And Cool Gamer is here. What's up, Cool Gamer? How you doing? Either I missed some people or I went through the whole roll call. I think I got everybody. I guess I got everybody. All right. There's a bunch of y'all lurking out there, which I would imagine is over tonight's topic. But I appreciate my people lurking out there. I know that for whatever reason y'all can't comment or you don't want people to know that you watch Viper, but I see y'all out there. I know y'all lurking. So shout out to my lurk squad. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you very much. We got Toriano out here. What's up, Toriano? How you doing? What's going on? We got Alan on board too. What's up, Alan? How you doing? What is going on? Okay. So, we have a lot to unpack tonight. So where do I begin? Okay, so Corey Kinson is the man's name. I didn't even know he existed until this week, but he is one of the biggest gaming YouTubers or one of the biggest gaming creators on YouTube. Love that. He has 14 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. So the dude is massive. He recently put out a video this week calling out YouTube, and he called them out for either being racist or playing favorites or both. That was the whole entire gist of the video. The reason why he made his video is because he ran into some trouble with one of his videos that got age restricted. So his video got age restricted, and he was confused as to why the video got age restricted. So what he did was he went to other creators who were covering the same game that he was covering at the time. And the creator that he happened to land on was Markiplier, who is one of the biggest creators on the platform, period. He's also another gaming creator. But when Corey checked out Markiplier's video about the same game, if he found out that Mark had similar content to about the game or whatever that Corey had. I should back up a little bit because after Corey's video got age restricted, he went to his YouTube rep and he was like, yo, what's going on? Why did my video get age restricted? And his YouTube rep came back telling him that it might have been a certain part at the end of the video that got the video age restricted. So that's when he went to go check other creators who done similar content to that game and what he's done. And that's when he found Markiplier's video, and Markiplier had the same type of content in his video that Corey's rep said that might have got Corey's video dinged. But Markiplier's video did not get dinged. So because Markiplier's video did not get dinged, Corey's like, yo, how come Mark's video is not age restricted, but mine is? So I guess he brought that up to his YouTube rep. His YouTube rep took it back to YouTube, and next thing came to next thing, and YouTube came back and they removed the age restriction from Corey's video. After bringing up the Markiplier video that was not age restricted, YouTube brought it back. But Corey wasn't happy with that. He wanted to know why the video got age restricted initially, and he wanted to know why his initial appeal to the restriction got rejected, because that's the other part. See, I'm not mentioning this stuff in order, but when the video got age restricted, Corey appealed it, and his appeal got denied. So then that's when he brought the Markiplier video to his rep's attention. The rep took it back to YouTube, and then YouTube magically removed Corey's age restriction off that video. So Corey's like, yo, who reviewed it? Why did it get age restricted? And why did it take Mark's clip to get that restriction removed? So funny thing happened throughout this entire process, right? So after YouTube removed the age restriction from Corey's video, after, all the reviewing back and forth, somehow they came back and age restricted the video. So the same video that got age restricted, he got the appeal rejected, and then he sent Markiplier clip to them that was not age restricted, and then YouTube removed the age restriction, and then he wants to know what happened, how did it get age restricted? They came back and reapplied the age restriction again, and they also applied a restriction to Markiplier's video. So it seems like YouTube was caught with their pants down, because initially they said that the video, they removed the age restriction, but then they went back and reapplied it to both Corey's video and Mark's video. So now Corey's like, yo, what the, bro, what? So that's where the genesis of the video came from. And he's like, all right, either you're racist, you're playing favorites, because initially his video got age restricted, but Markiplier didn't. So he's like, what's going on? So he didn't flat out call YouTube racist, but he highly insinuated that there might be a level of that going on. So what I want to do tonight is talk about why I believe, in my opinion, that YouTube is not racist. So here's the irony of this entire situation. Corey Kinson has 14 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. And as Perp Minded is highlighting in the chat, the dude has been on YouTube trending more than one time. Okay, he's been on YouTube trending a couple of times. I don't know how you can call YouTube racist when the platform allows you to amass 14 million subscribers. Okay, that's point number one. If the platform was racist, how the hell did you get to a level that you got 14 million subscribers? I'm sorry. I don't know how that happens on a racist platform, but I digress. Number two, if the platform was racist and was trying to shut you down, why is it that the video that you made calling them out now has what? I don't know what it has now, but it had 8 million views the last time I checked. So this platform that you built 14 million subscribers on, which lets you put out this video calling out YouTube, because the irony is that he's calling YouTube racist or insinuating that YouTube is racist, but he put this video out on YouTube, and YouTube sent it out to 8 million people. So I don't know how y'all do math or how y'all calculate things in your mind, but that's two strikes right there, right? If YouTube is racist, number one, how did he get up to 14 million subscribers? Number two, how did that particular video calling them out have 8 million views? So I'm just thinking about this, and I'm like, no. There's definitely stuff going on. I'm not saying that YouTube is perfect, because they are by no means perfect. I have had my own issues with YouTube, which I will talk about in a little bit. But to call the platform racist, that I can't go there. I can't agree with that. I cannot go there. There are definitely issues going on, but it's not because the platform is racist. I will talk to y'all about the actual issues that I believe that's going on with YouTube as it relates to some creators, whether they be black, white, whatever. First off, I think it's important to note that YouTube currently, as last time I checked, has 6,000 employees. Think about that. YouTube, this massive platform with millions of creators, has 6,000 employees to cover millions of creators, millions of videos. 6,000 employees. So they can't possibly catch and cover everything. So because of that, because of the discrepancy between manpower and number of creators on the platform, they use computers to cover a lot of ground. ground that human beings cannot cover, especially with the lack of manpower that YouTube has. They have to use computers to cover that ground. And because they have to use computers to cover that ground, these computers are not perfect, and these computers, more often than not, miss stuff. They miss a lot of stuff. And I think the reason why his video got age restricted because it was probably false flagged by the computer. Now, with that being said, when he appealed that age restriction, the appeal and reviews are ran by human beings. So when you have something happen to your video on YouTube and you appeal it, it gets reviewed by an actual human being. So the human being that reviewed his video rejected his appeal immediately almost, I guess. So why? Why was his appeal rejected when there's other videos on doing similar type of content that were not age restricted, but his video got age restricted, and then subsequently his appeal got restricted or got rejected? Are the human beings not doing their job, or do they just biasly reject, or did that particular human being at that moment just biasly reject the appeal because they see so many appeals and they're like, yeah, we're not overturning this? Because again, we're human beings. We are all fallible. So it could have been a situation where that human is not very good at their job and they just naturally reject appeals because they see so many a day or a week that they are just naturally in the zone of rejecting appeals. So there could have been an element of that to it as well. But my thing is the computers are at fault because they are imperfect and they are flawed. I spent 2 years trying to figure out why my original YouTube channel had so much trouble with videos getting restricted. Because as I told the story before, some of y'all might be aware, on my old Viper channel, half my content got restricted. It seemed like every time I put out a video, it got restricted. And you all know me, if you followed me for back in those days or whatever, you know that I made family-friendly YouTube content. There was no reason why any of my videos should have ever got restricted, but they kept getting restricted over and over and over again. Now, luckily for me, when I appealed those restrictions, I usually won. But it just became such a hassle to have to put an appeal in for every video that I uploaded, because literally every video that I uploaded was getting restricted. So I did some testing on my own to figure out why they got restricted. I started a different channel, and on that different channel, I just did short videos so I could do testing of the way I deliver videos. And I came to the conclusion that part of the reason why my content was getting restricted was because of my delivery. You know, y'all know how I am. I'm loud. I'm aggressive with it. I'm hyped. And I think some of that must have kind of provided some type of false flag with the algorithm, because when I tested my normal delivery versus a more subdued delivery, the subdued delivery videos didn't have a problem, but the aggressive normal Viper tones had issues. So I figured it was something to do with the computer not being able to like discern my delivery in a proper fashion as to what my problem was. So what I did was I started a completely different channel, the channel that I'm doing now, The Man About Tech. And luckily, I have had no issues on that channel. But that brings up my next point. I have since gone back to delivering my content my normal Viper way on the new channel, and I have not had any issues with restrictions. So why? Why did I have so many issues on the Viper channel, but I start a brand new channel with the same delivery and I've had no issues? I don't know. That tells me that there's a flaw with the computer, not that YouTube is racist. There's a flaw with the computer. Not to mention, how can YouTube be racist when they are promoting people like Corey, who has, again, he's been on trending, so he's been promoted by the platform. Marquette Brownlee has 15, 16 million. Lily Singh has 14 million. She's up there. We got Michelle Carey, who has like millions of subscribers. So there are people of different ethnicities that are having a lot of success on YouTube. So it's kind of hard for me to call YouTube racist when they seem to be promoting anybody and everybody who is doing well and can draw an audience. Here's the reality of the situation, you all. YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar company, and as such, their number one objective is to make money. That's all they care about. They care about making money, okay? They are going to do what they have to do for the platform to profit. And being racist does not make your platform profit. It can actually do the inverse. If YouTube was found out to be racist, they would lose money. And ain't nobody got time to be losing money, especially with the amount of money that we're talking about that could potentially be on the line. They would lose money if it was found out that they were racist. Ain't nobody doing that, okay? YouTube profits from every different type of creator on the platform, so it makes no business sense for YouTube to be racist. Now, with that being said, I definitely believe that YouTube plays favorites. Every big corporation plays favorites. And the reason why, again, goes back to money. They are going to promote and advertise their top money makers, which means that anybody that's not a top money maker, you, me, and everybody else, we are on the bottom, okay? We get pushed to the bottom because we are not top money makers. But if you're Marquez, or you're Corey, or you're Lily, or maybe you're a line detective, they're going to promote you more because those guys, those creators make YouTube money and lots of it. I think Roberto Blake said this one time that 97% of the views on YouTube go to the top 3% of creators. The top 3%, and I guess in subscribers or whatever, subscribers and view count. And that's because, again, those top 3 creators are the ones that are bringing the bulk of views to YouTube, and that is how YouTube is making the money. So naturally, they're going to promote those top tier creators because those top tier creators bring in the most money, which makes sense. Again, this is not just a YouTube thing. This is every major corporation. They're going to promote and push harder their assets that make them the most money. That's why when you hear about celebrities getting in trouble with the law or different things like that, they play by a different set of rules. They don't get in as much trouble as somebody like me and you would get in trouble if we broke laws and things like that, because those top tier celebrities and athletes are money makers, and money makers are protected. You all know this. We've seen it throughout all walks of life. The top money makers are protected at all costs. We know this. YouTube is no different. So hell yes, I feel like YouTube is playing favorites, but they're not. They're like any other company, organization, or entity in that respect. That's not a YouTube specific thing. That's just the way that corporate America works, or corporations work in general. Now, the other thing that I should mention is that this is an open forum. So if anybody got a live stream set up and they want to come talk to me about this, you are invited to come. I will give you the link and we can chit chat. If you agree, disagree, we can have it out. We can talk about it, because there might be some people that disagree with me. There might be some people out here in the chat that feel like YouTube is racist. Hey, I'll be glad. I'll talk to you about it. We can have a chat. But I'm just laying out right now why I feel like YouTube is not racist. So, the other problem that YouTube is having, or has had as long as I've been a creator, is their ungodly lack of communication. I think we can all agree as creators that YouTube has a problem with communication for real. When they, I can even take it back to when they removed the dislike button. They just removed the dislike button. There was very little communication about why that was happening. I mean, they gave us a video here and there, but I don't know if they ever consulted with the community as a whole about removing the dislike counter. And they gave us their reasons, but the communication when that happened was kind of lacking, in my opinion. But when you have situations like this where your video gets a strike on it, or it gets age restricted, or in my case, it gets restricted, they never tell you why. And that is a problem. They never explain themselves. That is one of my biggest pet peeves with YouTube as a platform. They do not explain why certain things occur. And maybe that's because, again, like I alluded to earlier, the lack of manpower. They don't have the manpower to explain every decision that they make, especially when the decision is made by a computer. They just don't have the bandwidth to do that. Okay, but it's kind of disconcerting as a creator when I'm busting my ass putting out content and it getting restricted, and you won't tell me why. Like, can you please tell me why so I can make improvements so it won't happen again? I think that's what most of us creators would like. Transparency, communication. Let us know what's going on and why it's happening so we can adjust and conform properly to the rules of the platform. So I definitely think that YouTube does not communicate in the best sometimes, and they can definitely be better at communication. But again, when you don't have the manpower, then I don't know how we answer that. But that's definitely something that I've noticed since I've been a creator on the platform. The other thing, as it relates to video getting restricted and everything, is that when your video gets restricted on YouTube, filing an appeal is not the easiest thing in the world. Hell, I had to hunt down the appeal form when I had my issue with my video getting restricted. I had to do a Google search to find a document to submit to do the appeal. Why is that information not readily available to me as a creator? Why do I have to hunt down a document to make an appeal? That should be in our creator studio. And maybe they changed it since, and it is, and now I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that. But if you're going to restrict my video, then there should be a document in the creator studio that I can click on and immediately file an appeal. Not to mention the fact that when my videos do get restricted, I have no idea they get restricted. The only reason why I knew was because my views were low. And I'm like, wait, what the hell? And then, with the help of Roberto Blake, we figured out what was going on with my content. But for 2 years, I never knew why my videos weren't getting out there. I just thought that, no, maybe I didn't make the best content or whatever. I had no idea that the videos were being restricted. It was never communicated to me that they were being flagged for restriction. So again, it goes back to my point that YouTube's lack of communication is suspect. It's not a good look. Because when the video got restricted, I had no idea. I had to find out, luckily, that they were restricted. And again, I had to go hunting down a appeal form to file an appeal. Why is it so hard for YouTube to communicate with creators? But I already harped on that. So what else do I want to talk about? Let me see. The other thing that creators, you all, if you make videos on YouTube, the other thing that you really need to be careful for and watch for are auto captions. I cannot tell you how many issues I've had in the past with YouTube auto captioning my videos incorrectly. Sometimes the words will be wrong. Sometimes they will throw in profanities. Hell, sometimes the video will be auto captioned in the wrong language. Even though I set my channel language to English, my video will be auto captioned in French, Dutch, whatever, everything except English. So you really need to be careful about auto captions. When you upload videos to YouTube, make sure that the auto captions are correct. And if you're not comfortable with YouTube's auto captions, and you shouldn't be like Viper and pay for somebody to do them or do them yourself. But definitely check your auto captions because they will mess you up if you don't catch it, and they can really take your analytics sideways if they are not done correctly. So be mindful of auto captions. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing here, and that's what I want to explain to you guys tonight about YouTube and why I feel like YouTube is not racist. I feel like it's just the computer and the algorithms that they use. They're not doing. I mean, they do the best they can with so many creators on the platform, but there are bound to be false flags, and unfortunately, when no false flags occur, we don't always have the greatest path of communication with YouTube to figure out what's going on. So that's what's happening. But it's not YouTube being racist. That's ridiculous. But again, if you want to tell me that they play favorites, boom, you got me. I'm not arguing with that. But I will argue up and down that YouTube is not racist. There have been too many successful people on the platform, all ethnicities, races, whatever, for me to believe that the platform is inherently racist. But that's just my opinion. But let me go see what I'm missing in the chat here, because y'all are chatting up tonight. I appreciate all of y'all being here, so thank you for dropping in. We got my man Digital Slang out here. What's up, Slang? How you doing, my dude? Thank you for being here. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got out here? He says, YouTube has the worst customer experience I've ever seen. When I lost my channel, it was a joke for 6 months. Wow, 6 months? Damn. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I mean, I will say that YouTube got a lot better recently with the whole communication thing. At Team YouTube on Twitter is amazing. But how many people are they having to deal with on a daily basis all on Twitter? I mean, they don't have enough manpower. They just do not have enough manpower. Michael Pepper says they have a problem communicating because they're still not sure which of the multitude of Google messaging platforms were canceled. I don't know about all that, man. YouTube is its own thing, bro. Like that has nothing to do with it. Let's see. We got a fit blonde tech dropping in and heading out. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. Who else we got out here? My man there, Huffy, getting the love. Appreciate that. We got Tony out there. What's up, Tony? How you doing, man? Good to see you. I thought we got my man Trenton in here. What's up, Trenton? How you doing? Good to see you, my dude. What's going on? Let's see. Who else we got out here? We got Alex Jackson up in here. What's up, Alex? How you doing? Good to see you. Let me keep scrolling here. Rain said, but it talked at or. Okay, Rain, what's up, Rain? How you doing? I need to probably go see what you were talking about there. Elvin says, There are some people who misuse the word racism, like this guy. This only makes the word less valid, and that's not a good thing for the real fight against real racism. I don't want to say that he misused it. I think he genuinely felt like the thing that was happening to him was racist because, again, he would compare his video and what happened with his video against a white creator, and it was a discrepancy. So when you have that discrepancy, I mean, what else is he supposed to think? I mean, obviously, like I said, I think it's more of a computer problem, but I don't know, man. I just don't want to jump to that conclusion that such and such is racist unless there is indisputable concrete proof that somebody or something is racist. I am not jumping to that conclusion, but when he did his research and he found out what he found out, then I'm not sure what else he's supposed to think about that. But I still think he came across pretty well in his video. But yeah, he threw the word racism in there, and I'm like, I don't know about that one. I think Trent says his title said racism and favoritism. The title alone sets the expectations. Yeah, like he put that word in there. So when you put that word in there, it doesn't matter what you say after that. That is what people will see. That is what people will think. And he has to deal with that. Because a lot of times people are not going to watch the video or they're not going to watch the whole video. Because I think it was like a 13-minute video. And I'm guessing that a lot of people probably didn't watch the whole 13 minutes. But yeah, he definitely put that inclination out there. But if you watch the whole video, he does explain pretty well what happened and why it happened and why he thought the way that he thought. But I am here to tell you again that I don't believe that YouTube is racist. I just think that their algorithms are flawed when it comes to reviewing videos and different things like that. Yeah, like Don said, it's a manpower issue. How much content is uploaded every minute? There's a lot of it. There's hundreds of hours of content uploaded. Hell, there's hundreds of thousands of hours of content uploaded every minute to YouTube. I mean, there's no way human beings can cover all that information. They just can't do it. They cannot do it. And the Barry Johnson out there. What's up, Barry? How you doing, my dude? Good to see you up in here. Let me see what else is going on here. Let's see. We got. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I didn't mention. But Markiplier is half white and half Korean as well. So again, half Korean with 33 million subscribers. Like, no, fam, no. I again, with the success of all these creators out on the platform doing big things, I don't believe that YouTube is racist. I don't believe that. Let's see. Trent said Corey just seemed frustrated and turned on the camera while still being in the frustration. And Vincent probably should have took a step back and really thought it through. I thought the video was well articulated, but yeah, he probably could have used another day or two to sit on it. But I thought it was well articulated anyway. So I'm not really mad at him for making a video, but he definitely could have thought about that a little bit more, just a little bit. Let's see. Joseph says algorithms are imperfect. If they only got it wrong 1% of the time, that means that millions of videos get flagged unnecessarily. No one has figured out moderation at this scale. Yeah, the algorithms are there. Again, you got computers covering much of the terrain on YouTube, and they're going to make errors. That's just how it is. So we just have to be mindful of the fact that the computers are out there and they are making errors, but I'm still not going to go back on what I said about YouTube being more communicative. They can definitely be better at communication because they are not. They're not very good at communication. But I know they're getting better. Hopefully, our man Rene Ritchie will help out a lot with that too, now that he's the creator liaison. So if there are issues like this, I know Rene will be on top of it. And I know Rene's been looking at it and different things like that. So YouTube, they are getting better at communication. But the algorithm and the computers are definitely going to have misses. And I think Corey's video was a miss. But you got to be careful when you go out there and call a whole platform racist, man. You got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with the words you use and how you say that stuff. I don't know. Let's see. Prince says MKBHD, one of the most successful black creators. He's at the top of the mountain in terms of tech creators. Absolutely he is. And I don't see him complaining about the platform being racist. He's very successful off of YouTube. And he's been doing great things for a long time. So again, when you got people out there like MKBHD and Michelle Carre and Lily Singh and all the other creators that are of different ethnicities doing very well, I just can't say that YouTube is racist. I can't do it. I just can't. Hey, Emily's in here. What's up? Emily? How you doing? She said the algorithm can be biased too. The review flag and strike process is a hot mess and would even be with more human input. Yeah, the review process again, like I said earlier, it definitely could be better. Again, when I was having issues with my videos in the past, I had to hunt down the form that I needed to have to make the appeal. Like, why was that information not readily available to me when the video got restricted? Not to mention that I never knew the video got restricted until I found out for myself. There was never no indication to me that my video got restricted on the old channel, which is funny because YouTube has a check that they have a check in place that will tell you in your studio in your backend if there's any restrictions on videos. But when I look back there for my videos that got restricted, there was no indication. There were where the restriction section was, it would say none, but that wasn't true. So I don't know. But hopefully, at the very minimum, this situation will cause YouTube to take a look at their processes and try to figure out how to do better and implement better processes for creators to lodge appeals and just better processing to keep these things from happening in the future. Like this stuff shouldn't happen. I mean, again, when they have algorithms running amok, there's going to be false flags and issues, but stuff like this just should not happen, man. It just shouldn't happen. But when it does happen, we got to deal with it. We got to bring it up. And that's what we have been doing. We've been bringing it up. And hopefully they can take the information that they've gotten from this issue and other issues like it, and they can do better. Again, I made a whole new channel this year because of my video getting restricted on the old channel. And I have not had a single video restricted on the new channel this year. Actually, maybe one. I think I had one video restricted. So I've uploaded probably 40, 50 videos this year, and one got restricted. One. That was it. So things are going much better on the new channel. I don't know if it's because the computer changed or they changed their processing. I don't know. But I'm having a much easier time with the new channel than I did with the old channel. So that tells me that YouTube, at the very minimum, is getting better at how they handle these things. But they can definitely do better and do right by their creator for sure. I need a drink. I've been talking for like, wow, what? How long have we been on here? I've been talking literally for like 37 minutes straight. I need to shut up. Damn. Yo, I see the Posins out there. What's up, dude? How you doing, man? Good to see you. He said TikTok has been quick on processing appeal for me. I'm glad, man. TikTok better be quick, yo. They got to worry about YouTube and everything out there. And I see Mary's out there too. What's up, Mary? How you doing? Good to see you. Hopefully you are doing well. What's happening? But yeah, if you let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that YouTube is racist, or do you think that there's or do you feel like there's just issues with the computers at large? I thought some of you all think agreeing with me that the computers are a bigger problem, but yeah, I don't think the platform is racist, but I do think they play favorites though. They definitely play favorites for sure. But again, that's all corporations and platforms. It's not just YouTube playing favorites. So that's just a reality of life. Not too much you can do about that. But that is what it is. Don said they don't want Vibe Nation coming for their throat no more. Listen, man. I mean, I filed so many appeals 2 years ago. They probably got tired of me filing appeals, yo. I remember when my entire channel was in restricted mode, and I filed 20 videos and one appeal. And after I filed those 20 videos and one appeal, the channel was magically out of restricted mode. So after I submitted 20 videos in that one appeal, they took the channel out of restricted mode. So because the whole channel was in restricted mode at one time, the old channel. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. It's crazy. Yo, Big Cloud, what's up, man? How you doing, sir? I don't know how much of the conversation that you've had, but I just spent like 37 minutes talking about why YouTube is not racist, alluding to the Corey Kenshin situation. If you want to come on and talk to me about it, Big Cloud, feel free to let me know and I'll bring you on here. But yeah. Oh man, that's a whole nother can of worms. But I can't talk about that because I'm not on Twitch. But I have seen and I have heard how Twitch plays favorites with their creators, and they are catching hell for it. Oh man, they're catching heat with how they enforce their rules across the platform, and they don't enforce them evenly across creators. Yeah, Twitch is definitely catching heat for that for sure. Let's see. Don says mistakes will be made when processing that much data. Absolutely. Again, there are millions of creators on YouTube. There is no way that the algorithm is going to be perfect and there's not going to be false flags especially with all the different creators and how we do things differently and how we deliver things and the things that we talk about. There's a lot of us on the platform, so there's gonna be mistakes made, but we gotta nip that stuff in the bud, man. When any mistake you made, we gotta nip it in the bud. And YouTube has to be better about being more transparent with us and telling us what's going on and why it's going on, so we can avoid this stuff. So that's what I think. All right, Big Cloud, I am sending the link to your Twitter DM right now. Come on in when you have the time, my dude. Appreciate you being willing to come on here and talk about it, since you are in the gaming space, so you're probably more uniquely qualified to talk about this than I am. But yeah, let's have a chit chat about this. But yeah, again, like I said, let me know in the chat. Do you believe that YouTube is racist? Do you believe YouTube plays favorites? Let me know what y'all thinking out here. Let me know. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all. But I'm gonna go back to what I said at the beginning, though. YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and corporations are not going to do things that will lose them money or cost them money. For YouTube to be outrightly racist would cost them millions of dollars. They're not doing that. I'm sorry, they're not doing that. They're not in that. They're not in that business. They're not doing that. Nobody's in the business of losing money intentionally. Nobody's doing that. So just by that fact alone, I'm like, nah, they can't be racist. Tony says, I don't think they're racist, but it frustrates me. Oh yeah, it's definitely frustrating, especially if you're in it like I was 2 years ago. I was in it, man. I was in it. I was up to my neck in it, man. It is frustrating, yeah. But you just got to go through the processes and do what you got to do. The other thing, which I heard another creator talking about, I forget his name. I think it was like Troy Magnus or Tony Magnus, something like that. I forget what his name is. But he made a good point in his video when he was talking about this, that we as creators, we have to know the guidelines and the rules of the platform that we're on. You have to know what YouTube community guidelines are. You have to know what YouTube copyright guidelines are. Because if something does happen with one of your videos because you just did not understand what the guidelines are, that's not the platform's fault. That is your fault as a creator because you did not read the guidelines and the rules and the terms of service. So if something happens to your videos and you clearly violated a terms of service, but you didn't know it because you didn't read, that's on you. That's his name. Thank you, Prince. Tyrone Magnus. He said that creators need to understand the community guidelines. Yes, I agree. You need to know the rules of the platform that you are on and understand their rules and their guidelines. Because if you don't and you make a mistake, that is on you. That is not on the platform. So Jonathan says, not racist, but favorites, they play favorites. Absolutely, they definitely play favorites. But again, I'm not gonna belittle YouTube for playing favorites. They're gonna promote their money makers like anybody else does. I mean, they're a business. They're trying to make money. They're going to promote their money makers. It is what it is. Not gonna get mad about that. So that's basically what it is. But again, I appreciate y'all being here, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully you are enjoying your Friday night. For those of us in the U.S., it is a long weekend. Monday is Labor Day, so a few of us got the day off. So I hope you all are enjoying the weekend with your families, or maybe you're taking some time to yourself, or whatever it is that you're doing to relax this weekend. Please do that. Be kind, be safe, have fun out there, because summer is coming to an end, unfortunately. But we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. So go out there and enjoy your Labor Day weekend here in the U.S. And if you're not in the U.S., enjoy your weekend anyway, because it's still the weekend regardless. So go out there and enjoy it and do what you got to do. But I think we have to be very careful about how we word things as creators, especially in such a public forum like YouTube or Twitter or TikTok. We really have to be careful about the words that we put out there, because it's very easy for somebody to misconstrue what we say if we are not careful with the words that we are putting out there on these public forums, man. So you got to be careful. All right, let's see. Prince says, to be fair, sometimes YouTube can be vague with their rules. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I am not arguing that at all. I completely agree. They can definitely be vague in their communication, period, my dude. They could be vague in their communication, period. So that I agree with. Tony says that YouTube definitely want people to succeed, and if you don't follow the TOS, you'll be in trouble. For sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like I said, YouTube wants people to succeed. They're not trying to hold people down. That's the thing that killed me about small creators and things like that. They're like, YouTube doesn't like small creators. YouTube doesn't want small creators to succeed. Oh, yes, the hell they do. YouTube wants small creators to succeed. They want to promote the next stars of the future, man. They want small creators to succeed because the success of smaller creators ensures the longevity of YouTube as a platform. So why wouldn't YouTube want you to succeed? What are you talking about? Like, stop it. But let me bring in my man, Mr. Big Cloud Gaming is on the mic. What's up, bro? How you been?
What's up? I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, we on the e-cams now, man. We done moved up in the world.
Oh yeah, you were talking about this before, yeah. It
Yeah.
looked really, really clean and looks good. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? So I know you familiar with the situation. You're in the gaming space. So I know you. Yeah,
that's a little.
yeah. I know, right? Right.
But yeah, what's up, man? What's going on? What could possibly have triggered Viper to go live at 8 p.m.?
I'm always up on Friday night. You know how we do. So what are your thoughts on this whole situation, my dude?
About YouTube being quote unquote racist.
Yeah,
I think that's what's up. So a lot of people, I get it. YouTube's not the same. Me and you, we were on YouTube for quite a bit. Before we got all these like bell notification updates, and now Twitter, I guess, or not Twitter, but before we relied heavily on Twitter as well. But beforehand, we just uploaded, and our videos are guaranteed to get to our subscribers. All you gotta do is hit the subscribe button. How I feel about it though, like again, people saying YouTube is racist because let's say you used copyrighted content and your channel got striked. Well, they tell you in the fine print, don't upload something that's not yours. Now you're taking a risk, even with non-copyrighted music from these other YouTube channels. You're taking a risk regardless. I have gotten numerous copyright claims on my channel when I use music, and it just happens. Like there's just no guarantee that you won't get a copyright claim down the road. But when people say like, "Oh, my channel's being," let's say, what they say is like getting blacklisted because of copyright infringement type of stuff. It's like, no, that's just that's just the repercussions of using other content. This is why I don't stream like events related to like Marvel or Disney. I don't stream stuff like that.
Yep.
This is why you don't show off movie clips in streams, or you don't react to movie trailers, I guess you can say, on live streams. People do this for like Marvel, and like they did it especially for Spider-Man. This dude had like, it was crazy, right? Like dudes was watching this dude stream. You would think his stream was like the hottest thing ever, right? But he had like 2,000 people in the chat. And then all of a sudden, the whole joint got shut down. And it says, this channel cannot be found, or this video cannot be found, blah, 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 because of copyright grounds.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. He had like 2,000 people watching because he was doing the live reaction. I remember this. It was like of No Way Home, or it was one of the Spider-Man films. It was either No Way Home or the one before that where I think it was one with Mysterio, but he was like breaking it down. That joint got taken down in record time.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. So...
But how do you feel about the Corey situation, though, in particular?
Again, there are a lot of tips you can just give the dude, like on to avoid stuff like this, and that's really the best thing you can really do. I get he's saying that he feels like that because the system, low key, the system in general is not like the fairest for content creators, especially newer ones. Everything that you guys see, like especially if you're trying to recreate it, like, or redo a channel or make a channel, it's tough as it is to get in the algorithm as it is because of just the fact that there's so much traction. There's a lot of people trying to get into this algorithm, so it's understandable that he feels a certain way. But to say outright that the system is rigged and that it's racist, I don't agree with that. I just think that there's a fix for a problem that he just needs to look into. That's what the real problem is. So
yeah,
but I'm with him though. I get that he has a problem. We all have our problems with YouTube. You've had your problems with YouTube, especially with live streams. I've had my issues with YouTube, with videos not getting out there. When I put them out there, I put them out super early. I followed the trend thing, and it's like, yeah, YouTube's like, well, that's a dud. I'm like, what you mean? You know what I mean? So I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I don't think it's like that. It's just YouTube. YouTube as a whole, ever since Google took it over, it has not been the same. And I think people just need to understand that. Like, if you're trying to make this your only thing, like your only source of income, I would highly advise you to look elsewhere. Don't get me wrong. Some of you might get lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? But it's not guaranteed that you're all going to get that same pie. You know what I mean? You'll probably get bits and pieces of it. Might get a little something on the side, but it's best to really have a real job and have a way to support yourself and have this be more like a side gig, because this really should be a side gig at the end of the day for you, business related. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm at with the whole thing.
Um. Yeah, I agree with you. There are definitely some things that are going on with YouTube, but like as I have been explaining for like the last half an hour or so, that the platform itself is not inherently racist, but
Yeah.
there are some things that they can do better, and I do believe that they do play favorites. But again, I think every company plays favorites, so that's just what that is.
Oh yeah, like all the stuff that we mentioned, like notification problems, stuff like that. You think PewDiePie is gonna have that issue? Of course not. Of course not. He's not gonna have that issue. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see these dudes that have been on YouTube have 10 million subscribers have issues like that. Why? Because they're considered royalty. You know what I mean? They look at them as like they're elites. You know what I mean? There's a system to this. We are not elites. We're initiative. I would even say we're initiative. We're just like we're starters. Like we're still in that starter territory. Even if you had 100K, you would probably be in the starter / initiative / category. That's just how they are with YouTube. So it sucks. It does suck, but it's the way the thing goes.
Yeah, and, when you're on the platform, when you're using the platform, you got to be mindful of the rules and regulations of the platform. Like Big Cloud was alluding earlier about the copyright stuff and not using stuff that doesn't belong to you, and being aware of the content that you put out there, because this video got age restricted, which means that the computer thought that there was some issue with some of the content in the actual video itself, which is why it got restricted. Now I don't know what it is because I didn't watch that video, so I don't know why it could have got age restricted. But you got to be aware of the content that you're putting out there on the platform as well, because if it does go against the guidelines, or if
it ain't gonna last long. Yeah, it's gonna be
or if the computer can find fault with it, then you got a problem, and it's just what it is.
Yeah, like I mean, I've had issues like that with gameplay. Like I was showing off you remember that game, The Order 1886 with the werewolves. I showed that off, and it was like that scene where he like cracked the girl's back, and like I got an age restriction on the video. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to dispute?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a video game. It's this," and it got taken off immediately. Like, I guess they just saw my track record of what I do. They saw what it really was. But sometimes you can appeal and stuff happens, but most of the time, if you don't get like the reaction that you're hoping for, I mean, I tell people all the time, just don't get discouraged by that stuff, man. It just probably look for traction elsewhere in terms of how you go about the content. For him, I'm guessing he doesn't follow trends. You know what I mean? I'm guessing.
Well, man, according to him, he is the trend because he's been on trending. No, he's no.
I'm talking about like in terms of how he pursues content. Does he not follow trends? Like, does he do like the shorts, YouTube shorts type of stuff?
I'm not familiar with the content. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm saying like I would say get out. You know what I mean? Expand whatever it is he needs to do in terms of stuff. Me, I'm mostly podcasting / news related. So I'm doing stuff like that, connecting outside. To come to the comment, go. What I'm saying? You see how I move? I do that type of stuff, but it's there's so many factors, dude. So many factors that play into this. So many.
So Mary had people watching me at her house, which I find pretty cool. What's up? Hello. Good to see you all. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the show. Having a very serious conversation tonight about YouTube not being racist. Even though there might be some people out there who think YouTube is racist, but from the comments that I've been getting in the chat tonight, I think you all are kind of agree with me that it's not really racist, but there are issues that need to be talked about and addressed. And I think the algorithm in the computer that they use to get any video can definitely use some work, because there's some flaws. But I think I will say though, I think by and large the computer probably gets it right more often than it gets it wrong, man. I think there are so many successful creators out here on YouTube and they're not getting their video flagged and things like that. So the computer is doing more right than it is wrong, but it's just that when it does stuff and when it does get stuff wrong, that we are pretty much loud about it because we're like,
because we're so used to it working. You know what I mean? We're vocal about it because we're used to it. But yeah, that is definitely the truth. It's just I don't know, man. Like because beforehand, a lot of people were saying go to Twitch. Remember that? That was the conversation for the longest time. Go to Twitch, and now people are like, well, I don't think Twitch is the platform because you see the AMRAP stuff. I don't know if you see that stuff with AMRAP, but they're like, yo, this is not a gaming platform for Twitch. So, hey, man, big voice.
Kind of like I alluded to earlier, that trend is saying if YouTube were friends, and MKBHD would not be in everything that they do. They're promoting him hardcore. So
Mhm.
they even gave him his own YouTube original series. I mean, retro tech. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
again, it comes down to you. It just come. You just gotta find out where where you shine at, man. My heart goes out to the dude because I know how it can feel, like how it be, like you put out something and it just gets taken down or something. But I wouldn't flat out just throw the whole platform under the bus and say the whole platform is rigged for you to fail. I will say there are issues with the platform that need to be addressed for sure that help you get into this algorithm. And you would think this is Google. Why would they of all people have an issue with this? But again, it does feel like it's rigged for you to fail in that aspect in terms of getting started and getting out there. But like I said, once you establish yourself, it's a different story. It feels like a completely different story. And I think, people need to get with that. But
yeah. I mean, and it's funny because I'm talking to their new creator liaison Renee Rich. I was talking to him a few days ago about this. There used to be a creator academy for people on YouTube to reference as far as how to get started on a platform, what
yeah,
what the algorithm, what the platform is looking for, how do you do
mhm.
content, how do you
The
build an
YouTube
audience.
Academy
Yeah,
was another one.
but yeah, that comes all the creator academy. But they took that down and they just got rid of it. I'm like, maybe it's time to consider bringing that back because that was actually
Yeah.
pretty helpful with the information that they contain. Because I kind of went through it myself, and
Yep.
it does give you a good baseline of what to do on the platform and what to expect from the platform. But they don't have anything like we don't have anything like that up right now. So maybe that's something that they should consider bringing back with new creators.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like that's free information. It's right there in front of you. They tell you the do's and don'ts of the platform. If you start doing the don'ts, just know that you're doing that at your own risk for the platform. That's just really what it was with the with that whole thing. And I do think they should bring that back for sure. Now, will they do that? Probably not. You know what I mean? Probably not at this point. Yeah, probably.
I think if they I think it's a bandwidth thing because when you have stuff like that up, you have to keep it updated. And
Yeah.
I guess that I think the reason why they took it down initially because the data was telling them that not many people were accessing it. So
Yeah.
it was a resource that wasn't being utilized. So they were like, all right, if you are not going to utilize the resource, and we got people allocated towards it, we're gonna discontinue it so we can reallocate those people to do other things. So that makes sense. Again, it's a business move. They made a business move, and that's what it was. But I think there should be something that creators can like look at as far as things that they can do when they are first coming on the platform to just learn YouTube at a basic fundamental level. Because I
Yep.
think that would help them out greatly for sure.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Um, I really think they're just focused more so on catching that TikTok crowd to even care to bring something like that back, regardless, because they're everything in here. Like they're taking a lot of tips from Twitch and TikTok. Like they now have the ability to raid people. I don't know if you've seen that. You can like put somebody's URL, you can raid
They
them
call it,
like you would in Twitch. Yeah, you can do that now.
mhm.
So that's the other thing. And then they have the whole obviously the TikTok thing with the shorts. So eh, I feel like they're just trying so hard to get with the times and other type of competitors, like with the competitors, that they're just missing the core. You know what I mean? The core features that have always helped this entire website get to where it is. Like I don't even see this website get as much crazy traction as it did before, unless it's something news related or maybe a game crazy event type of a thing related. But most of the time, it's just mostly stable, relaxed. You know what I mean? Remember back in the day when YouTube used to get so much traction, it used to be slow. You remember that? You remember those days? It used to be so
Yeah,
slow. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't get that no more. So
It's definitely a different time. I mean, like you said, with TikTok out there. I mean, I think right now, well, at least a few months ago, I had read a headline that TikTok will be watched more than YouTube. So there's definitely some heat coming from TikTok in that regard.
yep,
But I still think YouTube is going to be a main platform for a long time to come, just because at the very basic level, YouTube is a search engine, and
yep,
TikTok is not a search engine. Even though apparently Gen Z is starting to use it as a search engine, but it is not a search engine. So
yep.
just because YouTube had that search engine DNA built in, I think it's gonna be around for a while. That the fact that it has the most ways for creators to make money, so there's
Yeah.
that too.
And here's a fun fact about that too. Since TikTok really took off like it is, you see YouTube push these, like those questionnaires. You notice how we're getting 5 times more questionnaires for YouTube content creators for feedback. Like, hey, are you liking YouTube? do you think you're valued as a content creator? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what the way my attention rate has been going down because my viewers hit me up all the time. Hey, Big Cloud, I didn't get a notification. I hit subscribe and I had the bell notification. I'm like, listen, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's YouTube. So
Yeah, like I said,
you already know it's a headache by itself. Just when you see these stupid questionnaires, then you avoid them and you get like 20 more within the next month. It's like YouTube. You know what the problem is?
like
Problem is you won't
I
fix
I
your
will go back to what I said before. YouTube, I do not believe in ratings, but the platform definitely has things it needs to work on to get better for sure.
Yes.
And one of them is the notification thing and whatnot, and yeah, that's a whole other show entirely. But yeah, there's definitely some things that could be better on YouTube for sure. But
Yeah.
for this topic, this conversation is not about YouTube being racist. No, YouTube is not racist. Marquez Brownlee, Michelle Carre, Lily Singh, they all say hello. Okay, YouTube.
What's going on?
They say hello. YouTube's not racist. They're living large out there. They're doing great.
Soldier Knows Best is another one. I mean, it's a lot of them out here.
And even Corey himself. Again, if the platform's racist, how did he get to 14 million subscribers? Come on now.
Exactly. How these dudes getting promotions? How these dudes getting advertisement? Like how they getting all these sponsored deals? See what I'm saying?
And again, it's not like I said. Probably the most ironic thing of the entire situation is that the video that he put out calling out YouTube for being possibly racist and favorite got 8 million views. Probably more than that.
8 million? Got 8 million?
And I think it's up. Let me check. But last time I checked, it was up to like 8 million.
And I'm gonna say it probably did, considering all the traction he's gotten in news outlets and people are tagging it and sharing around. But keep in mind, this is a combination of things that's adding to that view count that YouTube back then we didn't have to rely on it. You see what I'm saying? So you say he's got 8 million off of this, when in reality he should have 16 million views off. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going with this. That's how bad YouTube search engine has gotten. Beforehand, he wouldn't have to do that. It would just be instantly probably 16 or 8 million off the bat now, and then another 8 million what he would have got when it blowed up with everybody else sharing it around. So I'm just throwing out the facts here. PewDiePie, he has like over 100 million subscribers, I think, right? It's like 100 million. Yep. So he doesn't get 100 million views per video.
Nope.
You know what I mean? He gets like 2 million, maybe 3 million, 8 million times 5 million. Reality, what should he begin, Viper, off that subscriber count? At least 20, 30 billion, you know what I mean? But that's just YouTube's notifications.
Maybe. I think there's other things going on there too. But going back to this video from Corey, right now it's at 7.2 million views, which is almost half its subscriber base. So if the platform raises, you would not have half your subscriber base listening to or watching that video, They would have suppressed the hell out of that video, but they didn't. So I mean, I just sometimes I like to look at things logically, and I'm like, yeah, I see what you're saying. The platform has issues, but just by what I'm seeing on your channel and how many subscribers you have, platform cannot be inherently racist. But you know what? We have another guest tonight because I invited my man to talk about this as well. Mr. Roberto Blake is in the building. What's up, sir? How you doing?
Oh, it's Mr. Roberto. Hey, what's up, brother? What's up, dude?
How you doing,
shout out to Roberto, the GOAT. There you go.
Oh, there we go. There's my cheering section, right?
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. What are y'all up to? What are y'all on?
Well, Viper, he called us here because apparently there's a YouTuber who's calling YouTube racist.
Corey X Genshin. Well, to be fair, he said favoritism or racism. He said, "Hey, if I'm wrong," but that is kind of also He did say that, but one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way is, it's one thing to point out the specific issue that he has with the platform, which I understand. And I think he's venting on a specific video, or that this has happened a couple of times, but it's also happened to other people that aren't black or brown creators too. It's happened to people, and he's pointed out, it's happened to Charlie, Moist Critical, with him versus Markiplier, which it clearly says that, well, maybe it's more of a favoritism thing. Maybe there's a white list for the biggest YouTubers. And again, Charlie's not small. He has 10 million. So, but Markiplier has 30. But guess what? There's probably more people that work at YouTube that grew up watching Markiplier than grew up watching Charlie. And there's more people who grew up watching Markiplier that work at YouTube today over the last decade than grew up watching Corey X Genshin. Corey X Genshin is one of the only, there are only 5,500 creators in the United States of America that have gold play buttons. Corey has a diamond play button. Mark has a diamond play button, which means that the number of people, I want to say the number of people who are not celebrities, as in traditional celebrities, or are not media companies, or are not Ellen and Conan and these late night, that means the only people in America who have diamond play buttons, it's probably like 400 actual homegrown YouTubers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need Madison Square Garden to fit these people. I can take them all to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
And they can all remember each other's faces, right? So like that's how it is. So the thing I take issue with is when he says he feels like whenever he comes back to YouTube, he gets a certain level of big, and then he feels like they trying to hold him down. They're trying to hold the black man down. Like you wouldn't have 10 million if that was the case, my brother. And
Exactly.
you wouldn't have 10 million if that's the case. And it's like, what would make you not feel that way if you were as big as Markiplier? Because who's big in gaming that plays multiple games that has over 10 million? The people who have 10 million or plus in gaming that aren't PewDiePie all play Minecraft or Roblox, or they play one game. They play Minecraft, they play Roblox, they play Fortnite, they play one game. You play whatever you want and you get like millions of views. You take massive hiatuses from YouTube. And I like his content. I like Corey. I've watched Corey. But I'm like, he's not playing as consistently, or maybe he would if he never took a week off. Markiplier never takes a week off. If he never took a week off, he might be as big as Markiplier for all we know. I do not think YouTube as an organization is trying to hold Corey X Kenshin down. They have no upside for doing that. They stand to make millions of dollars not doing that. They stand to get a big PR play bigging him up as a black creator. They have every reason to see him succeed in terms of dollars, in terms of status, in terms of PR, in terms of clout, in terms of waving the I'm not racist flag. They have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So why would they, like, you'd have to believe that they're Confederate flag waving racist to even entertain that idea rationally. But I think this is just a venting thing, because given enough time, you can't possibly come to that conclusion at 10 being a creator over 10 million subscribers that you're being held back. That'd be, and
that's not just that too, Roberto, because again, we said this about the smaller content creators. You know, you get what you give. You always have to grind in this whole thing to get the big result. Like it's just how it is. Even when you hit 10 million, if you're trying to hit, higher 20 million, guess what? You got to put out the content consistently for them to keep you in the algorithm and the search engine, for you to keep coming up with suggestions. That's just how it works. Now, if you taking, like you said, I don't know how long his hiatuses are. Like, what is it, like 2 weeks?
There was a point where he took off over a year. He took off over a year.
If you're taking off a year hiatus, first of all, a year can kill a channel, period, or will kill a channel in general.
He took off and grew from 8 million to 10 million without uploading anything.
With a year hiatus.
Yes.
So
that's how popular he is. He is so popular. He is so popular that he went away and people awaited his return, and he grew to 10 million. And the thing is, like, he got to 10 million back in, I want to say 2020 or 2021, and he's now at 14 million now.
Yep.
So he got 4 million on top of that in the last like year and a half to 2 years. People ain't still growing like that whose name ain't Mr. Beast.
Exactly.
Like, and he still gets views. Like, whenever he uploads, he still gets views. He does his views when he does upload. He gets almost as many views proportionately as Markiplier when he uploads, with half the audience size. Sometimes he gets more video views on an upload than Markiplier with half the audience size. He's competitive in that tier. And so I don't know, and I'm not saying he has nothing to complain about. I'm not calling anyone privileged. I'm just saying that perspective-wise, you're a 10 million content creator. You're playing a different game. You're on Mount Olympus. It's different stakes. It's a different thing.
Yep.
You're a different god. You're, like, it doesn't take any of your shine just because there's other gods on Olympus. You're playing, you're a god of a different category, my homie. Like, you're a different zodiac sign. It's not going to be 1-to-1, and it doesn't need to be. But you're already up. There's nothing.
I was telling Viper this, the tier list, like right now, like, let's say you're in 100,000. I wouldn't even consider you to be in the novice category for YouTube's like tier list. I mean, you're still kind of starter, compared to everybody else who's like in the tens.
Not even.
Millions. Yeah. The tier.
Because here's the problem.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem. 90% of, you may not know this stat, 90% of people on YouTube do not have 10,000 subscribers. So you're in the top 10% of, like, again, there's a gap, like, just like how in America, right? If you're in America and you make 100K a year, You're in the top 20% of people in America, right? And a lot of people don't know that like 100K, you're in the top 20% of people in America, but you're at 35K, you're in the top 1% of the entire world because of income disparity. The entire world at 35K. So it's all perspective, right? It's all perspective. So the thing is, you could have 10K and you're in the top 10% of YouTube. If you're at 100K, you're not even in the 1%, you're in the 0.01% at 100K. If you have a million, you're in the like 0.001. There are more like people that I'll give you a real perspective. So watch this. There's only 45,000 people who have silver play buttons in America. 45,000 in America. There are 100 million YouTube channels. There's 100 million YouTube channels. In the entire world, there are only 300 silver play buttons in the entire world, and there's 100 million YouTube channels globally. So not even 1% of people have silver play buttons. Globally, there's only 35,000 gold play buttons globally, right? And there's only like 3,500 diamond play buttons globally. And a lot of those are just internationals, and it's things like T-Series, and it's media companies, and it's internationals where it's the only language. It's Fox News. It's stuff like that, right? So America, though, in America, there's only 45,000 silver play buttons in America, and half of those belong to companies. And there's only 5,500 gold play buttons in America, and again, half of those belong to companies and traditional celebrities who are musicians. So there ain't that many, even for gold play buttons, there ain't that many real YouTubers in America that have gold play buttons. But then you're gonna be at diamond. It's about perspective at that point. It's about perspective.
Yeah. Funny that you basically said everything I said in 30 minutes. It took you like 5 minutes for bro to break it all down.
No, I mean, like, because if you taking a year off in general in terms of content creation, mind you, a smaller content creation at a creator at 10,000 can't even take hardly 2 weeks off without the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Like, if seemingly dumping them out the bin and throwing somebody else in. So it's like, it's hard for me to say like, oh, you're saying like it's privilege when you got all the cheat codes imaginable right now at your disposal and you don't even use them. You know what I mean? You're still getting pushed. Even a year of hiatus.
Yeah. So will I say that there's would I say that there's favoritism? There's favoritism in all these platforms, and there's unconscious biases in all these platforms. There's unconscious biases, and there are some things that are PR optics. There are some things that are PR optics. There's no way that in this current climate, some people can do the same thing and get a different punishment in this climate. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. And Twitch is worse. Twitch is the worst of it. Twitch is the worst of. They will never punish. They will never punish
hot tub streamers type of content.
Right.
Like,
They'll never do that. Like, to be honest, Twitch will never punish anybody that can claim any type of marginalization compared to someone who can't. They will not do it. It will not be done 1-to-1. It will not be same punishment, same crime. It will never be that.
Do you think? Let me ask you that. Do you think it's because they're desperate for the traction? Because remember how Twitch was just looked at as the ultimate gaming streaming service. You know what I mean, that's what most people went there for. But now it's like gaming is the last thing they're pushing. Yeah, it don't feel
PR.
like that.
It's optics. It's all optics. The politics are optics. Politics are optics. Almost no politics are sincere. Because if someone's sincere in their beliefs, the thing that they usually don't do is publicize them.
That's true. Yeah.
People who are sincere in their beliefs will do instead of tell. They will show instead of tell. They will just do things, and they will just do it. But when it's optics, it's for the benefits of it's for the benefit of being seen to be doing good, seen to be doing the right thing. People who do the right thing, usually we never hear about it. We only hear when they do the wrong thing. And that's why it's unfair to judge people only on when you've only heard about the wrong thing that they did, when literally 999 days, like out of a million days, they had 10 bad ones, and you judge them on that is not reasonable unless those 10 days are the most egregious thing a human being can do. It doesn't, because otherwise it doesn't really matter. It doesn't add up to behave consistently. There's no consistency to that, right? So that's not reasonable, but that's how it is. And that's okay. I accept that that's how it is, but I'm saying there's a cognitive dissonance there, and there's an unfair biases in that behavioral model of how you crime and punishment, so to speak, in terms of crime and punishment, because we have those same problems in criminal justice too. So like that's how humans behave. You guys know what I'm talking about. You have that. So you have those biases inherent in that. And that's optical. That's optical as well. Oh, this is dope. Like, what's the
Yeah.
What's the URL? What's the what you call it for this? What's the
I'll
what's the source?
I'll tweet it to you.
All right, cool. Appreciate it.
So yeah, this is a copy of all the YouTube channels and how they break down LFA. Shout out to LFA it is to be.
Sweet.
113.9 million YouTube channels. Wow.
Yeah. So globally, people who have diamond play buttons, it's less than I thought. Diamond play buttons is less than I thought because diamond play buttons. Oh wait, no. Does that say 3,000 or does it say 1,300?
They're 1,100 for diamond play.
What the? Oh my god! So it's and what's the date on this? This is July 2022. Okay, yep. So it's pretty close. Yeah. So look at these numbers. Like that's crazy, right? That's crazy how narrow the top is, and people don't understand. Yeah, and like I said, 100 million channels, 2 billion users, and then look at the breakdown. It's absurd, right?
That was absurd. But yeah, that's like Roberto said, there's a lot of stuff going on with channels in the breakdown. And why am I not doing it correctly? There we go.
No, so put full screen. But yeah, no, that's.
Like, I mean, again,
just killed the topic.
You know what? But no. But you know what the problem is with platforms and PR and optics is they're publicly traded companies. And because if you go back to what happened with like PewDiePie, when PewDiePie was accused of all these things that were taken wildly out of context, what was the answer? They went to the advertisers, and then the advertisers didn't outrightly. The advertisers pulled away from him. They didn't start the adpocalypse because of him, but it opened the door to then people who then took advantage of this press cycle. And then the adpocalypse happened about 6 months later. So he's not responsible for the adpocalypse, but he showed the vulnerability.
He contributed to that.
Well, no, it's that he represents, as the biggest YouTuber, it demonstrated the vulnerability that YouTubers and YouTube, the platform, has in terms of advertisers having them by the balls and them being vulnerable to advertiser backlash to say, if you want to rein these platforms in, go to and scream at the advertisers, and then that's going to get the shareholders to make a move. And then, oh, great. We, the media who compete with social media platforms for ad dollars, we got a way to sabotage our competitor. And we don't even have to print in the beginning of our article that we're talking trash on our competitor that we compete with for money. And so now we can literally rein in, slow down the momentum of our competitors in the form of YouTube influencers who we compete with, and YouTube as a platform and all these other social media platforms. They compete. Every publication and every journalist directly competes with a content creator for attention and ad dollars, and they compete with the platform as a publisher for ad dollars. And that's what the general public doesn't think about because they don't tell them. Because everyone thinks what they're told to think, and they don't tell them that. Because if you realize the conflict of interest, and then you read an article and you realize, wait a minute, these media companies are fighting with YouTube and Twitch and everything for dollars and brand deals and advertising. Yep. And every time a YouTuber gets money, it takes money out of the pockets of a publisher. So because they're competing. If you realize that and you realize what a conflict of interest that is, you trust them a lot less when they say something.
Yep. That's why, that's why a lot of people don't understand. Like, people rather listen to, like, it can be gaming or it could be, politics or business, but they rather listen to someone who's not tied to a corporation. You know what I mean? Thoughts on it because they believe it's more genuine on the YouTube.
Well, when they don't have a conflict of interest, when they don't have a conflict of interest, when they don't have a monetary incentive,
they like to listen to that better, more so than a corporation. So.
People listen to Rogan because he can't be bought.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Trent, come on here, my dude. Link to your Twitter DM. But Roberto, you said a lot of things that I was saying before you got Roberto. Like, there's no way the platform is racist. I mean, they promote people like Michelle Carey, Marquez, Lily things like that.
There's no financial incentive for YouTube as a corporation to be racist.
None.
There's no financial incentive for them to be racist. You could argue there's a massive PR and financial incentive for them to be inclusive and be biased about being inclusive.
Yep.
You can make a massive argument that there's an incentive for them to be all about diversity, equity, and inclusion optically right now, that there's a massive incentive for them. There's not that much downside. And you could make a massive argument that there's a financial and political and policy-wise, in terms of regulation, incentive for them to do a lot of things. You can make a lot of arguments. I think that and I'm not rooting for this, by the way, there's a much better argument for them being against. There are large swaths of people that you could say they have an argument in terms of being biased against. That makes a lot more sense than saying they're against black people or they're against women or any, like, there's no upside for them there. There's plenty of upside for them being much more, what's the word? There's a much bigger upside for them potentially to censor a lot of people or to hold a lot of people down or to hold down anyone they disagree with in terms of ideas. They got an incentive to do that, but they don't have any financial incentive to work against people of color, minorities, or like they have no financial incentive whatsoever.
All right.
Yeah, is the platform perfect, Roberto? No, like there are issues with people with we talked about this before, like with the notifications, just like they have issues they got to resolve for sure. But to say that the platform overall is discriminative, no, I don't. No,
notifications, spam, scams,
all that stuff.
Bots. I mean,
let me get Trent in here. What's up, Trent? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Just hanging out for the
what up, dude?
Spirited conversation.
What are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, I said it in the chat earlier. Like, come on, we've all been frustrated, and when you're frustrated, I can tell you from experience, that's like the last time you ever want to turn on a camera. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But look, that's just the way I take it. He was upset, okay? And when you're upset, sometimes you don't stop to think of all the stuff. You're just like, well, it's got to be this, or it's got to be. Well, when you start saying stuff, it has to be like, when you get real mad, you're like, it has to, like, it has to be that. But favoritism, absolutely 100%. But the thing is,
everything's favoritism.
Whenever you introduce any sort of claim, indictment, whatever, and you use the word racism, and you're the black person in the room,
you can't walk it back.
You can't roll it back. You can't. Here's another example. If I was female, right, and I said, okay, YouTube has to either be sexist or they have to have favoritism. Everyone and their mom is going to focus on the sexist part.
The sex part. Yeah.
Right.
Because you're female.
And the thing is, and if you want to use the evidence of, then why am I not as big as all these dudes who are like, or why am I not, or why is it that the top 10 female YouTubers don't make as much money as the top 10 male YouTubers? It's like, so is that the platform or is that the market? And then if that's the market, it's like, okay, are y'all doing one-to-one the same thing? You're not doing one-to-one the same thing. So it's not anything against you. It's about you're not doing the thing that makes the most money. Ronda Rousey made the best argument about this. She said that Dana White isn't like, she's not the best paid fighter in the UFC because Dana wanted to do something nice for the ladies. She did it because she sells all the tickets. She gets the money because she sells all the tickets. Ronda Rousey
can argue this too. Like that's
Ronda Rousey does that, and Ronda Rousey makes more money than most people in America do. Like she's the 1%. So it's like she's not gonna. I respect her because she's not gonna say she's being biased against while simultaneously. She's not gonna sit there and say she's biased against while simultaneously beating 99% of humans on Earth. like that's because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Trent, about not being careful going in front of the camera when you're frustrated because you think things that you might not mean. Yeah, definitely got to watch out for that.
I mean, but that's the thing is, all right. I know some people are like, well, he said and or he said or he said that. I'm like, go look at the title of his video. What does the title? The title of his video is racist and favoritism. So it's like a double.
Not or, not
maybe, not.
This ain't multiple choice. Hope this ain't multiple choice.
And they're going by the tagline.
It's not even probably. It's not even probably in parentheses.
Right, you're flat out saying it is a racist. And it's like,
and here's the other problem that I see. That it was something I wanted to say, but I really didn't want to get into it. But whatever.
All right.
There's two things that happens here. The first thing that happens is if you're someone, you're not calling them out. You're not saying no, it didn't happen. You're someone that has questions. Okay. One, if you're white, how dare you ever, question a black man on racism? Two, if you're black, how dare you ever question a man on racism? So it's
No, you
like
a sellout. You a sellout.
Yep.
You're out here caping
set
for the
up.
man, caping for the corporate. Or here's another one. It's like, oh, you just
happening.
caping for the capitalist establishment, and you side with the corporations and not the
You're an
creators, not the
agent.
workers, subsidizing our exploiting our labor. Yeah,
Right. You're an agent of the government and all that other stuff.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's,
Given
and
the
it's just
pass.
like it's set up in such a weird way. And I'm not calling out other YouTubers, but I watched other people who made content who were trying to support Corey, but they're like, look, I just have to support. I can't throw any sort of questions. We just gotta listen, we gotta follow the process, and we gotta just go with it. That would
You
have been
beat
like
me. You beat me to
YouTube
it.
suicide.
Thank God, just put that.
Suicide if you said anything else, And like I said, it's mainly if he put any other word in there, if he put
If you just put favoritism,
just
favoritism.
favoritism.
But he knew that would not get a response,
And-
and he wanted the attention because he wanted his issue addressed, which I understand. I understand clickbaiting your issue so that it gets resolved because you're angry, you're frustrated, and you just want your stuff taken care of. And you but it was so even with the thing on the video about the video itself, if it's just the video, it's when he says he feels that he's being held back, and they said that, and he wanted to say that YouTube won't not let him as a black person get too big.
Right.
That's where you're just like
He opened up more. He opened up a bigger can of worms just by clickbaiting this to begin with.
He said, like that whole thing threw me off. YouTube doesn't want to let him get big. Dude, you have 14 million subscribers. What are you talking about?
There are dudes who are struggling to get 300.
Right?
Like as a black man,
you know?
it's like, do you know who YouTube, when YouTube was putting creators on billboards, when YouTube was putting back when through, do you know who they put and spent the biggest ad campaign budget on to put on the most billboards, and who they propped up the most back when they were doing that? Do you know who it was?
Who was it?
Any of y'all got a guess?
Marquez?
Viper, you should know. No, it was Lily Singh.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Lily Singh, brown woman, bisexual woman of color. She was the person they bigged up the most. They spent all the ad budget on Lily Singh, who Lily's one of my favorites, by the way. But she isn't popping like she used to be. But because she went to TV and the YouTube audience felt some kind of way about it, whatever. And she also, her style of humor then became culturally divisive at a certain point. But because again, she moved away from her core value proposition and jokes to a different thing. People outgrow their type of content, whatever. Neither here nor there. But I'm pointing out that it wasn't even a creator that is the biggest creator and was at their prime, was the face of YouTube at one point. Was that you could not go anywhere and see a YouTube print advertisement, billboard, TV ad, print ad that was not Lily Singh. So the idea that YouTube is racist is, in my mind, it's like there's no evidence and actions to support that. There's no facts to support that. And the data anecdotally that people would want to put up would be the same problem I'd have with them trying to say YouTube is sexist and biased towards men, just because the largest female content creator is not even close to anywhere near the biggest. The gap between the biggest female content creator, which I believe is still Jenna Marbles, which is still, I think, 20 million, is nowhere close to even the top 5 male content creators. It's not even close, right? With Mr. Beast and PewDiePie and even Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and some other ones, it's not even close. But that's not, I don't think that's an evidence or an argument for sexism. I think that's an argument for a difference in market demand, because here's the thing. They're not in the same genre, niche, or vertical, and there's no crossover audience. So it's not a one-to-one. You get what I'm saying? It's not a one-to-one, because there's no comedy channel that's as big as, you can't be a sketch comedy channel and be as big as Markiplier or PewDiePie or Mr. Beast, because you're not in the same genre as them. You know what I'm saying? You can't one-to-one that. You can't be, You can't be a photography YouTuber and be as big as the biggest game. You can't be the biggest photography YouTuber. Peter McKinnon, 5 million, is not as big as the biggest gamer. The biggest gamer is going to be 30, 50 million. The biggest gamer is going to be 30, 50 million, maybe one day even 100 million. The biggest photographer is going to be 5 million to 10 million. And that's going to be the gap because that's the market difference. It's a market difference. You don't need a lot of money to be a gamer. You can be a gamer for $0, with a phone. To be a photography viewer is a bigger investment. It's a bigger skill level. You see what I'm saying? It's a different interest. It's a smaller market. There are more game consoles and video games sold than there are going to be cameras and camera gear sold. It's not even close. So you get what I'm saying? People will try to find any fact they can to support their argument, but it's not objectively a fact. It's not objectively reality.
No, again, and there are factors that show that YouTube is not racist even towards him. Like the video, like here's the crazy thing. The video that he used to call YouTube out has 7.2 million views. If YouTube was really racist, would they let that video get that much traction? No, not at all. But it did. Go ahead, Trent.
No, I was gonna say, so the other claim in the video that I guess I'm not going to say claim, but concern that he brought up was like, if you go to YouTube's homepage as a new user or incognito window, that you don't see a lot of, I don't know if he said black people or minorities or whatnot, but basically it's, mostly white faces and stuff like that. I opened
if
up
you VPN into Canada, it'll be Canadian YouTubers.
Right. I opened up a new incognito window. Oh, hey, there's a picture of Lionel Richie. And, oh, hey, look, there's Corey. It's not even the racist video. It's a totally different gaming video. I mean,
I'm gonna go incognito right now. And it's like, again, because here's the thing. Even with the homepage, they're not even being algorithmically accurate because they actually are curating the homepage, even though the homepage is somewhat supposed to be user behavior. But the incognito homepage, it actually is set up to balance all these things: male, female. You'll see something LGBTQ. You'll see a little bit of everything. You'll see animation channels. They are literally going out of their way. They'll even throw up Rogan, even though like everyone's hating on Joe Rogan. They'll like, you got a little bit of everything. And if you keep scrolling and everything like that, I'm seeing plenty of stuff. I'm seeing Key and Peele. I'm seeing Key and Peele here and everything like that. Oh, it's like I'm seeing Harry Styles. Like, like I'm seeing a good ratio, incognito almost. I'm seeing a good 40-60, 50-50 ratio female content creators, even though there are less of them in YouTube, ironically. So it's not even actually like they're going out of their way to even falsely represent and spread things out. That's not even proportional to the actual reality of the platform. They're going out of their way to alter ratios to make everyone happy or feel seen that don't even reflect reality.
So now, let me ask y'all this. Do y'all feel like he did this video to begin with? Not necessarily for the creators, but for himself.
Oh, I think it was just venting.
Do you think it was venting? Because if you
right.
want to be honest here, he could have really, I think he could have made a better impact if he just talked about the actual problems of YouTube in general. You know what I'm saying? Like notifications like that. I think that would have been a much more better thing because that's geared towards everybody. You know what I'm saying? To flat out say that this company, the platform.
You mean if he had talked about a systemic thing instead of just his issue?
Yeah. Like everything, about the platform itself, not necessarily, you know what I mean? Just everything the platform is known for.
By the way, YouTube's anonymous homepage, it shouldn't be, this. It should just literally be like, here's what people watch. Yeah. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't feel, it's like, it's mad diverse. It's this, like, I actually think that it's okay. Then there are rigging things at that point. They're rigging things the way people want them to rig them, but it's still rigging it because it's not a reflection of the reality of the platform. I would rather that YouTube's incognito page or whatever, because your own homepage is reflective of your own behavior, so it's fair on that. But as far as new people, random people who don't like to sign in, people who are incognito for whatever reason, people, whatever, VPN, whatever, I think it should just be whatever's popping. And until it figures out what you like, it should just be whatever's popping. Because then that would reflect reality.
I want to go into something that you told me before, Roberto, about how YouTube only has 6,000 employees. So because about 6,000 employees. The computers are doing most of the legwork when it comes to like,
except for the review stuff is
Right,
outsourced.
correct.
And you know why I know that? Well, for obvious reasons, I know that. But I'm an advertiser with most of these social media platforms. All of them, as an advertiser, when you spend a couple $100s, they all give you an account manager. So all of them, I don't have to call support. They always call me. They nag me. I practically have to, I don't want to talk to you. Like, just take my money and leave me alone. I want to talk to y'all. Like, and so they call me. And so every time they call me, I know that, oh, it's a call center on the other side of the world. You know, for the obvious reasons, every time. And that's all of these platforms. That's Facebook. It's Google/YouTube. It's all of them. TikTok, all of them. So they all are outsourcing that. Microsoft does it too, by the way. Trent, you know about this. You already know about this, that Microsoft support and all of it's outsourced. Apple's like one of the only ones that doesn't do that, outsourced to a call center in another country. Apple's like the only one. So the reviews, the human reviews, are not done by somebody over in California at the campus. It's escalated to those people, but it's not. Sometimes it's escalated to those people, but it's not those people in California are not reviewing your stuff. It's somebody on the other side of the world, and that makes a difference.
Okay, so I want to go back to the what I was trying to say is that YouTube has 6,000 employees. So the algorithm, the computers are the ones doing most of the legwork when it comes to grading the videos and flagging them for age restrictions and different things like that. So
you've been there, you've seen it.
Yeah, exactly. So at the root of his issue was a computer false flagging the video for being age restricted when it probably shouldn't have false flagged it. So the issue really is the computers and how they're treating the video.
Well, that's where it started, and then it got manually reviewed when he appealed, and then it was a policy thing, and then they reversed the policy after reversing the policy on him and Markiplier, and then he's like, well, what's the hell? So then there was someone above the original person 2 times made another decision, and the decision made no sense either way.
No.
That sounds more, instead of it just being, so the first time algorithm, blah, 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 but Markiplier might be whitelisted, and you could say that's favoritism, but maybe it's not favoritism just based on him being a big creator or him, because he's a person of color too. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, he's Asian. Like, but people are like, oh, white passing, whatever. It's like, oh, he's not black, he's not brown. Okay, fine, whatever. But Markiplier might be whitelisted just because Markiplier has been in compliance with the rules for so damn long that he'd be whitelisted, just because he's done so many appeals and been proven right over a long period of time that it's just easier to whitelist him. So that's possible.
That's true, because this reminds me of a situation. This happened 2 years ago. Was it 2 years? Maybe it was a year and a half.
Was it 2 years ago? Was it the Moist Critical video? Penguin Zero, Moist Critical?
No. So this is something that happened when I was looking at, because I was trying to help Vipe figure out why he was getting restricted or whatever, right?
Yeah, restricted mode. Yeah.
Now, Vipe made a video where there was 0 curse words. 0, none, nada. And he even changed his voice in some videos. And literally just to see what would happen, I had one of my rant videos where I said every single curse word under the sun, because some dude was following me to unfollow, and he was doing this with all these other people and all this other shit, and I got pissed off. I said so many very unkosher words and whatnot. And I even checked all the boxes.
Vulgarity in the world, right?
My content doesn't contain vulgar language. It doesn't contain this, doesn't contain that, this, that, and the other. White uploaded his video and it got restricted within like 5 minutes. My video stayed up for probably about 3 weeks before we had like that little warning trying. It didn't even say we're demonetizing. It was just like, it just said limited ads, right? Here's a manual review, limited ads. I'm like,
with all the cursing in the world,
I could have swore you would have took that down if I told another man to sit on something.
And it wasn't gated. It wasn't gated. No restricted mode. No age gating. No nothing. Just a warning.
But the other thing with that is, I'm willing to believe that if you start a YouTube channel and you upload enough videos and you check enough of those boxes and those videos pass enough of the, hey,
That's
okay,
real.
look, this
That's
dude's
because you can
uploaded.
check your score. You can check your score, just your accuracy score, just like you can check your
Yeah,
credit score. So once you reach a certain threshold of accuracy over a long enough period of time, over enough videos, yes.
yeah, like
Okay.
they're not gonna mess with you. But if you're like uploading stuff that's getting copyrighted every single time, then like they'll be on you. But I think that was I'm not saying that Corey was uploading like questionable content or somebody else wasn't. I'm just saying
No,
it's
you're
still
just saying why a creator might have some even in terms of the algorithm with regard to review, that some people might be automatically whitelisted just because they've never caused any problems. They've reached a threshold of like, your stuff's always good. It's too much trouble to put more resources into your thing than just assuming the best at this point. Like, we could use those resources elsewhere because we like, if you're good, we might as well give your thing the benefit of the doubt. You clear the checks that's like, you're always good, so why worry about it? Like,
right. And then the same thing with Markiplier, where he uploaded that video where he was like, all right, here's this like super crazy game that shouldn't even be on here, but I'm just gonna try it anyway. I'm like, all right, if you did that, let's say maybe about like 10 times in a row, I think would have caught on by then. But just that one random one out of the thousands of videos that YouTube's gonna, weigh against as far as strikes
squeak.
and warnings and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
squeak. You
So
just get by. Yeah. You just get by. And again, if you're a creator in good standing, your stuff just is going to to the extent that you are, and the extent of probably even just over the last X amount of days, even, right? Even of like, oh, you've been consistently posting them and it's always past that X amount of days, versus if you take some breaks and gaps in between posting and then sometimes you aren't always passing, or you don't always have zero issues, then okay, it has less data to go off of to say, oh wait, are you okay? Like it just says, it's just like you say, oh, I see you all the time, I wave you by, you're fine. I see you all the time. Oh, I
Yep.
see you all the time. Like, look, I've checked your ID 20 times. I'm not checking it a 30th. It's like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm more inclined to believe arguments for favoritism. I'm more inclined to believe in whitelisting, in a whitelisting algorithm even. I'm more inclined to believe in some sophisticated security whitelisting that we don't even know about. I'm more inclined to believe all those reasonable things are at play than to believe that somebody's just pulling levers in this case. There are cases where I do believe that, but this case, no, I don't think that that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of when they reverse the policy the multiple times, I just think that there's a very high probability that in any organization, there are people who are not good at their job.
Yep. Yeah, especially when they are like immediately rejecting appeals without probably even taking them serious.
Or I'm saying even people that stuff gets escalated up to.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's a such thing as bad admins, bad leaders, bad managers, and
yeah.
people who are like,
Definitely.
oh, you reversed the decision? You reversed it? Wait, Jenkins reversed a decision that was made? Oh no, I'm reversing Jenkins' reversal.
Exactly.
It don't even got nothing to do with you. It's just like, wait, Jenkins, wait, how many all right, let's pull the admin role. Oh, Jenkins reversed a policy decision, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? On what? On what? Oh, I'm a reverse Jenkins. It might not even have nothing to do with you. I'm just yeah, Jenkins reversed the decision. I'm reversing Jenkins' decision.
Mm-hmm.
It might be as simple, as petty as that, and have nothing to do with you for all you know. So I'm like, it may not have nothing to do with no favoritism or racism toward you. It might even be internal stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you for all you know. That's where, and I'm not suggesting that that's the culture. I'm suggesting that you don't know that it's not. So why make this other assumption when there's just as equally the possibility of this other thing? It may not even got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, the other thing that I was talking about earlier, Roberto, is that even with all this aside, as creators, we have to know what the proper rules and guidelines of the platform that we're on is. Because if you upload content and you violate the rules, and then you're arguing and wondering why you got restricted or whatever, and you are clearly violating TOS or community guidelines because you didn't read into it, and that's your fault as the creator. That's not the platform.
I also think there's a logical fallacy in saying, well, if Markiplier can do something, why can't I? I understand where that idea comes from, but it's like, if you think something is sus and your first instinct is to see if someone else is getting away with it, I don't like that thought process. I do not like the thought process of this might or may not be sus. Oh, well, if so-and-so got away with it, why didn't I get away with it? If so-and-so got away with it, why can't I get away with it? And then it's like, and then the thing was, okay, you're right. And then it's like, we let you both get away with it. And then someone said, no, actually, you know what? Neither of you are getting away with it. And then you can say that that's fair, but that's not even the outcome you really did want. That's not even the outcome you really did want. And then it's not that you were trying to be a snitch, but it does end up having the same result. And I'm not calling anyone a snitch. I'm saying you weren't trying to be. That wasn't the intent. You thought that both of you should be okay because you don't see anything being done wrong here. But the thing is, it could go that way. And then where does that leave you? Whereas maybe don't worry about what other people are doing and do you, and don't judge whether something is fair by what other people, I don't judge fair by what other people have. I don't worry about it. I do not worry about it. Because again, a part of me cannot help but think, and I like Corey, but I'm like, Corey, do you feel some kind of way that you're not as big or bigger than Markiplier? Because you keep saying the platform is holding you down. How big do you think you're supposed to be? Because I'm not saying you have to be satisfied with 14 million, but I'm just questioning what's enough for you. If you're believing that you're held down, you have something that out of 100 million people, you have something that only 1,000 people have out of 100 million. And I'm not saying enough is enough. And I'm not saying, oh, you're not grateful. I know that you are. I know that you've like come up from nothing. I know that. I'm just wondering where this is all coming from. And if you're internalizing something because you somehow don't think it's enough and you don't think that you're respected enough somehow, or you don't think that, or you think that you're supposed to be bigger than this. And I'm like, how big do you have to be before you don't feel like you're being held down? How big would you have to be to not feel like you're being held down? Because he said the words, right? We all heard it, right? I feel they will not let me get so big as a black. How big is big?
Exactly.
14 million is big.
14 million is like peak.
And the other thing is, there's that whole comparison thing, because what it brings me back to, Vipe, I don't mean to say this in any sort of messed up way. That's like me saying, well, why did Vipe get his brand deal and I didn't, and I have more subs than Vipe, or I've done this, I've been
why did Vipe get a Google phone and I didn't, and I'm like 10 times bigger than Vipe or whatever?
But that's how it comes off, and it's like I'm not trying to talk bad about the guy.
I'm not either. I hear you. I'm down. I'm down. I'm subscribed.
I say this multiple times because it comes off wrong.
We hear him. It's just
I hear you.
His research went as far as clicking on other creators' videos to see if they got restricted. I don't know if he talked to any of the creators, but he didn't say it. So I'm willing to assume that he didn't get with another creator his size and say, hey, what have you gotten struck for? What have you gotten taken down? Let's compare notes. Like, we're looking on the surface.
When you appeal, what do they tell you? Well, what are they doing? Yeah.
Right. Now, if me and Vipe got together and we put our analytics together and we say, hey, we're both black, we both uploaded this video, we both got age restricted. Okay, let's find two white guys and let's compare notes. Let's find two Asian guys, let's compare notes, and so on. Like, that's the research that you would want if you're going to levy a claim as serious as racism, because there's a very hot button issue topic in 2022. Like, everyone is on high alert for that. And
do you know what I found?
Go to the whole platform.
You know what I found out from people who've said and even quoted it in articles where they talked to journalists and said that they feel that there's racism because of what they get for brand deals, or there's sexism because they get the brand. You realize I've worked with creators of color. I've DM'd y'all in DM groups for creators of color. I've talked one-on-one with female creators, and you realize that when I talked to them, I told them, here's how to negotiate higher prices. Here's what I know you can get. And here's what I know is like the real, or what brand are you talking to? Okay, here's how they price. And here's how here's how their competitors price, because y'all don't know nothing about advertising. So you don't know how they do KPIs. Y'all don't know. And y'all went in, all right, did you ask these questions? No, I didn't ask those questions. Did you lead with your views? Yes, I did. Oh, you showed a vulnerability in negotiate. It's like, well, why do I have to negotiate? Why can't they just offer me what it's like? It's like, do you want to pay more money for anything for any reason? Are you voluntarily paying more money than anyone asked you to pay? Are you in anything that you pay for? Are you voluntarily paying anyone 50% more than what they're asking for because you have it in your pockets? Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Of course you didn't think of it that way. So what I do, I went and I got these people. And I was like, you do realize the thing that gets you paid less than other creators is not that they're white, not that they're men, not that they're this, not that that. It's that you don't have anyone negotiating your brand deals for you. You do not have a ruthless shark working on your behalf. And so when you go into a brand deal, you have all your insecurity about your negative comments. You have all your insecurity about your identity. You have all your insecurity about what the latest views on your videos are. Someone who's getting 20% of whatever they ask for from getting your deal without making the content ain't worried about none of that. They're going to ask for as much money as possible. They're going to be a shark. They're going to be in there. They're going to be ruthless. They're going to negotiate on your behalf. They're going to go to war for you because they get in their 20% and they want the number to be as high as it can be. You are more worried about rejection than anything else because that is what being an artist is we are emotional. We are temperamental. That's why we best are served when we partner with ruthless business people that ain't emotional about any of it and aren't in their feelings about none of it and just going out there and getting the bag and bringing it home and taking their cut. That is what that's about. And when I explain it and break it down to people and they get out of their feelings and they're like, you know what, you're right. And they think, or I tell you, here's what thing, I'm going to tell you what your rates are and you're going to go and ask for them. And you're going to have to sack up and have the courage. You're going to have to man up. You're going to have to woman up. You're going to have to ask for the dollar amount or you're never allowed to complain ever again. You're going to have to ask for the dollar amount that I tell you to go in there and get. And they go, Roberto asked for double my regular fee and they didn't even negotiate me down. Like, so you mean this whole time you could have been making twice as much money this whole time and you just didn't know that you could have just went in there and just fired. Because the thing is, because if you miss, you get to blame it on me now. But you hit. And it happens so many times. It's so interesting to me that all it really came down to was an insecurity issue in terms of they were fearing the worst, internalizing it, and then it became a self-fulfilling prophecy like everything else in life, right? Not everything, but enough things. There's enough things to where we are our own worst enemy. We tell ourselves the worst story in the world, and then we write the script for it, and then when we act it out, we're surprised at what happens. And that's the thing. When you internalize all these bad things are happening to you because your identity, you're this and that, and you don't like just change the behavior or change the way you're looking at or get perspective or just do something different or even be content with what you have when you don't have it's people's headspace that messes them up as a creator as much as anything else, if not more than anything else. It's what undermines them. Brand deals, all of it is to perspective because every introverted dude, every person of color, every woman that I've ever helped and get much more confidence in negotiating their deals got more money, every single one of them. And some of them, the pushback on me is I don't have the confidence to ask for that. You don't have the confidence to ask for that, but then you're going to go to the news and you're going to tell them that you're getting screwed over and then you're going to admit to me one-on-one that you just don't have the confidence to ask for that because you never got it.
Crazy. Yeah.
People talk heavy about racism and sexism and all those things, and it never occurs to them that okay, then if you think you're worth that, don't wait to be offered for it, ask for it. Don't wait for them to offer you that. If you think you're worth that, then act like you're worth that and be about it. And someone who's about it won't take less, won't say yes to anything less than that. That's the difference. Your counterparts are doing the game differently. Oh, you don't have a brand deal manager? All these people do. These people, they don't go and ask for money. That's what the help is for. That's the difference between you. They don't ask for it. And guess what? They believe they're worth that money. And if they were going to ask for it, they wouldn't be shy about it. Like they would act indignant and insulted by the offer you said yes to. And you're not going to do that. But what have your experiences been? If your experiences has taught you, oh, I'm going to be humble, I'm going to be agreeable. If you're already internalizing the guilt that you already think you don't deserve to have this much money as a creator, how are you going to then act that like people are screwing you over when you're not even going for it because you already feel survivor's guilt about making money for doing crap that you love while all the people you know still work a 9-to-5 job. And that's how creators are. And then they're surprised. They're surprised that people don't respect us when we don't act like what we're doing is important enough. We don't act like what we're doing is legit enough. We don't act like we deserve to make the most money in the world. And then we're surprised that nobody gives us our respect.
Crazy. Michael Pepper. Yeah, you're right, man. when you talk about blaming others, success when you fail, it's so common. It's a cultural issue. Yeah. Always looking at the next person and wondering why you are not getting what they're getting. That's always a recipe for failure, man. More people need to worry about their own situation and how to improve their own situation without worrying about what somebody else is doing, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
You want to hear a funny story about that?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
So this is an anecdote. I'm not going to name anyone's names, but this is like a very successful creator in a niche. You guys won't know the niche, and it's a female content creator. You won't know the niche because you'll never guess it. A lot of people wouldn't think that this would have as many views as it gets or whatever, but we were working together on their brand, on their monetization stuff, and they thought that they were getting not getting the right thing on a brand deal. And they pointed to and told me that they know what their friends are getting. I was like, well, what's your friend over so-and-so getting? And your friend is huge. Where are they getting? Like they're huge in terms of they're getting more views than you, but they're the same subscriber count as you. Well, where are they getting? And then she was like, yeah, I think I'm getting screwed because they're getting this. I was like, would you feel satisfied and would you feel happy and you feel like you're being paid fairly if you were making what so-and-so was making? And she was like, yes, if I was making what so-and-so was making, I would feel like I'm being treated fairly. It's like, okay, so you believe that that's a fair deal? You 100% sure? And she's like, yes, absolutely. Why? I was like, so-and-so is underpricing themselves by a third of what they should be pricing themselves. I'm like, I know what so-and-so should be getting. So-and-so isn't even negotiating their stuff right. So-and-so should be getting 3 times or double that for what they're doing and for what the market can support and for what people get in that niche. They are underpricing themselves. They should be getting double, if not 3 times. But you thought you should be happy if you're getting what they're getting. You'd be happy still not making what you deserve. But you wouldn't know any better. You would just only know that they were making that, so that's what you should be making. You don't even know what you should be making. They don't even know what they should be making. Y'all don't know. The brand is getting over on y'all already. You just don't know how badly.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's the thing. Even comparing yourself and thinking, when I get what they're getting, I'm getting what I deserve. You don't even know that. Because the person that you think is killing it might still be getting screwed. And then so you don't even know how bad you might be correct that you're getting fleeced. You may not understand that so is everybody you think is crushing it.
That's that real talk, man. That is that real talk. On that note, I think we have pretty much hit all the highlights. I said everything I said for 37 minutes. Roberto
Roberto came in here and just killed it with the sword. It was already down. He just decapitated it.
Let's discuss some more spiciness.
Oh,
okay.
What's on your mind?
She-Hulk.
Oh, twerking.
Okay.
All right, twerking. All right, twerking.
Oh, Lord.
Look,
okay.
There's She-Hulk twerking.
As a Marvel fan, I feel like this is like one of those shows that had great aspirations, and then it was just like hurriedly rushed at the last minute to where like the model of She-Hulk is like glitching across the screen.
The animated series from the 90s of She-Hulk. Do y'all remember She-Hulk in the 90s? In the animated series, in the Hulk animated series?
Yeah.
That was the character. And in the comics, over the last 20 years, the comics have been great. And the comics have been great, and a great positive female heroine and icon, and just a great overall superhero regardless. She-Hulk has been a great hero and well-written and well-respected. For my entire lifetime, she's been written well and tastefully and been a strong character. I think that this series, in the name of trying to do feminism or wokeness or female empowerment, undermines what that actually is. Because I grew up with my younger sisters, and they've had strong female characters to look up to and heroines and everything like that. And I think that the current writing in the modern era, I think we just have lazy, bad writers that can't write characters. Because there were good characters on TV and in movies for years that were like great. Do you know what's one of the greatest, until they messed up after the writer's strike, do you know what's one of the greatest shows that did a great job of writing strong female heroines? That's a modern show from a couple of years back. I don't know if you guys remember NBC Heroes.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
Before the writer's strike screwed some things up, they did a great job of writing people, but they did a great job of writing female heroines, especially in that series, and strong female leaders. And they showed even for villains that strong women can be ruthless but still be caring and everything like that. Like the mother in that show, Mrs. Petrelli, she was like an elderly woman, but she was like practically a super villain mob boss type character, like, and she was gangster as hell, and her only superpower was that she can dream the future, and yet she was gangster as hell, ruthless, even playing her sons for chumps against each other and everything like that, willing to destroy New York, like all kinds of ruthless, just Machiavelli, like, yeah, let's go. Like we had great female characters written in Game of Thrones with a Machiavellian, ruthless, and everything, using everything at their disposal. We've had good, we've seen
the problem is social media.
What it's like.
That's the problem. The social media is the reason why you don't see the cleverly written characters that have a story, or I call it the roadmap, where it's like bits and pieces of it, and it keeps you in like intrigued, and it keeps the character mysterious, and you want to know more. But then nowadays, though, it's like they got to be upfront. Like, for example, look at the Kenobi show. Yeah, I remember that chick, the black woman on the cast. There's like
Moses Ingram.
Yeah,
she did a tremendous job in her acting. There's some writing there that was good, and there was a lot that was poor.
There was a lot that was bad, but you get what I'm saying. You could clearly tell they were rushing it. They didn't focus on necessarily building it to like that moment when she fights Vader. They just kind of rushed it because it was like everybody was just throwing so much backlash. Like, okay, what does she do? How like, well, who is this character? And it's like, okay, then they did it, and then now you see this. And
what they should have done, what they could have done, she was the backlash. She was the focal point of the backlash because of the fans not getting what they wanted soon enough. Because what I told them is this: I said to this to Ray, if they had just done in episode 1 or 2 the Hayden Christensen Obi-Wan Kenobi flashback, to where we get to see Hayden and we get to see Obi-Wan in their prime in the Clone Wars, and you got that flashback,
and then you build from there, right?
You got that flashback, and you gave them a little bit of that Clone Wars, it would satisfy all the fanboys, because this was a series that is addressing all the fanboys that grew up with the prequels and grew up with the Clone Wars, and all you had to do was just wet their palate in the first or second episode and give them a flashback where they get to see Hayden get his roses, and where they get to see Ewan get the roses, and get to see them in their prime. When they see broken Obi-Wan, all they have is PTSD from The Last Jedi with Luke. And so and then they say, oh, here you are. This Reva is just Rey 2.0. That if you know that that's how they're going to be, all you have to do is edit. It's not even a hard editing trick to just put Ewan and Hayden on screen together in episode 1. And then they go, oh, I'm going to get that, and I'm going to get more of that. And I'm like, okay with everything. Because by the time you got to Vader versus Kenobi with the flames, everyone's like, yes.
Yeah, everyone was going to kick up. But then it just, they broke it down and went back to like this flashback. So I'm like, that's terrible how you did that. Usually when you have flames, somebody getting burned, that's where tension goes up and more stuff happens. So they didn't have the pacing.
Real quick, this is what's getting me with She-Hulk is the messaging.
You don't even know who the villain is. That's the sad part.
Well, with that, okay. So let's say we go into the messaging of, okay, don't objectify women. I'm cool with that. Okay, if you tell me
comes a twerking.
Don't objectify women. Women aren't this. Women aren't that. We're gonna now have a scene of objectification, essentially.
Oh, but it's empowerment because I'm doing it voluntarily.
By the same people that said don't object. So, okay, this is now happening. Am I supposed to look? Am I not supposed to look? Am I supposed to say, hey, go?
Here's bad disingenuous writing. I'll see your objectification. I'll raise you one further. Putting as bad as mansplaining is, as bad as catcalling is, as well as all those things are, or as distasteful as they are, putting them on the same level of, oh, I'm always angry and I control it, as Bruce being abused as a child, being a victim of abuse, being a victim of attempted suicide multiple times by trying to throw himself off a cliff, blow himself up, blow his brains out, chronic depression, being stalked and hunted like an animal by the military, watching your friends die on the battlefield, and that level of, and being a gladiator and being exploited and
for
years, putting the level of trauma, physical violence even done to him as a child, and PTSD and the catalog of death he's experienced as an adult grown man, and that being why he's always angry, putting that on the same level as the distastefulness of that disrespects so many people. And it's such a, if you want to talk about things that are on media that are gross and disgusting, I think that it's horrible writing and it's disingenuous to then make a virtue signaling like show after doing that and making that your narrative and making that your it's like that's ridiculous to think that we can overlook you making those equivalencies, and that level of whataboutism is unconscionable to a lot of people who have suffered through mental health issues.
And not just that, though. Look at Wonder Woman 1984. What do they say about men? Oh, men are all disgusting, perverted guys, like that dude who was always attacking Cheetah. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, human beings are, well, we're mostly lawful good, but like as a species, we're probably irredeemable as a species. But we get a pass because we want to exist. But do not ever give me godlike power, because if I decide to judge, a lot of people will be left wanting. Like,
Hey,
fire and the brimstone, raising of the cities.
You're going to wipe out half of existence?
No, half was generous on Thanos' part. Half? That was generous, my homie. Thanos was
half of everywhere. And then he talked about wiping the
Go, Viper, go.
What were you saying, Trenton? What were you saying, man?
No, I said it looked like you wanted to say something. Like you were just like, I'm waiting for
I'm just like, y'all talking about all this deep stuff, but I'm just looking at the show like, this is just not a very good show.
Well, yeah, no, it's like there's
things that tie into this. So
it could be a good show. It has great comedic humor in some ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my thing.
I would say that loosely, Roberto.
let me set this up for you.
Moments. You laugh at moments.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Let me set this up for you. The original story, right? The original story of She-Hulk was thrown away.
Yep.
It was made into a joke. And they hastily turned Jen into She-Hulk in 15 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't even introduce her properly. Yeah.
Imagine how horrible of a movie or TV show or whatever it would have been if we did the same thing to Black Widow.
Oh my God.
And I'm not originally I wanted to say Captain America, I wanted to say Iron Man, but let's just focus on female characters. Let's say we got introduced to Black Widow like that. Hey, I'm just, doing my thing. Now I'm an assassin. Here we go. And that's our first introduction. We're not talking about any other movies, any other integrations. Just, hey, Black Widow's finally coming to the scene. Hey, this is how I became Black Widow. I got kidnapped. They took my ovaries out. Hey, I'm Black Widow. Like just like that. And that's the same way that they rushed so quickly into
She-Hulk's origin story is also that Bruce saved her life with the blood transfusion.
Yeah, transfusion. She got in a car accident.
So instead of that and just making it, I bled all over you, oh my bad. It's like that's so. First of all, I guess they wanted to try to not have Bruce save her was their narrative thing, which is that's subjectively stupid. Bruce is a superhero. He saves people all the time. It's fine. It's not some big deal. And the fact that he has to do it with his blood versus his superpowers is actually so you see what I'm saying? It's there's nothing wrong with it, and it doesn't devalue her as a superhero and as a female character for Bruce to save her with a blood transfusion. There's nothing about that that's wrong in any way. It would have made more sense for him to have to do it remotely on the fly in Mexico with no other access to blood. That it makes more sense to do it in the scenario to do it that way and do it in his makeshift lab and do all that. It makes more sense, if anything, to go. But they didn't want her origin story to be that her cousin saved her. And that's stupid because there's nothing that devalues her by doing that. And if you want to do the comedy lawyer show where superheroes come in with their problems and supervillains come with their problems, I have no issue with that either. And making it a comedy, you can make it a comedy without making her a joke, to your point, Trenton, because you could have it be about comedic timing. There was so much good comedic timing in Daredevil and in Punisher. That Irrelevant Podcast had so much good comedic timing while being perfectly serious, dark, and gritty. This didn't have to be dark and gritty. This could have been funny in some ways, like WandaVision was. I don't have a problem with them doing lighthearted. I liked WandaVision.
Yeah.
Or Ragnarok.
They had comedic timing on point with Shuri from Black Panther.
It was natural though. That was that was natural too.
Every moment you had with Shuri that it was supposed to be comedic. It was supposed to be comedy. All right,
it hit.
Damn, where did we miss? And like I said, I'm
making Jenny stronger than Bruce, going out of their way in the first episode to show every way that Jenny is stronger and better at everything being a Hulk than Bruce is stupid, because the thing that she's supposed to be better at is the control. The thing that made them in all of Hulk's media, the thing and the difference between them is her control is better, and that she also is more of herself and more confident, whereas Bruce is conflicted and inner turmoil and everything like that. And
almost
tortured.
Bipolar.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, She-Hulk brings out the best in Jenny. That's the entire point of like, oh, I'm empowered and I'm like, and I'm myself and I'm strong and I'm like all my attributes and I'm confident now. I'm not mousy anymore. I'm confident and I'm powerful and I'm my real self. This is like who I really am if I'm unrestrained by my insecurities. That's what She-Hulk's narrative is I'm a powerful person because unlike Bruce, the Hulk in me makes me whole, whereas with Bruce, it divides him. That's her over. That's where she beats Bruce. That's the entire point narratively, because that's good writing. This is bad writing.
Her and her control. It was so weird at the end of the episode when she's getting attacked and the dude is like grabbing her from behind, and she's like, ah! And then she just all of a sudden out of nowhere goes, oh, and then she hulked up like, what the?
But see,
they're trying too hard to be. They're trying too hard to force comedy, and it's not her looking at the camera, breaking the fourth wall. It doesn't come across good. That's what. It is.
I don't think they needed to sexualize She-Hulk. I think that was a mistake.
Go ahead, Trent.
It comes off as very Force Awakens, because whenever you in any Marvel comic, right? Whenever someone gets an ability, 9 times out of 10, they have to either learn how to control it or there's a drawback that they have to overcome. Now, they showed very slightly that when she was originally catcalled and she was walking out and the guys were approaching, that she hulked out, and turned on them. And then, Smart Hulk had to tackle her because she was going to fuck them up. Like, she had no control over her strength or all that stuff or whatever.
Because it's day one, day zero.
That progression, when you don't see somebody go into that, and then it's just like, oh, I forgot, I forgot to turn the switch on, and you're not.
We had an entire Hulk movie of him not being able to be in control.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, even then, you're not.
Our entire Hulk movie of Bruce couldn't even be so in control that it's like he's on top of Jenny. It's like, oh, I can't do anything. I'm going to destroy you if I do anything.
Exactly.
Because there's going to be a problem.
Constantly looking at his heart rate monitor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even in comedy, you can have stakes, right?
Yeah.
You can have stakes, and there's none. It's you're pretty much just expecting things to happen and for everything to be okay. And I totally want more episodes of stuff. Like, I don't want it to be this whole 6-episode narrative. Right now, I think it's supposed to be 9 episodes, and we're getting things going.
Oh, they'll greenlight a season 2. They'll do season 2.
Either
that's if Daredevil saves it to the point where they want it.
Deliver on a comedy or deliver on something else. But when I read that the writers said, hey, we really don't have experience on how to do a courtroom setting, I was just like,
yeah, Law and Order. Hello.
You know what I would have done if I walked into and I was taking control of this operation? Everyone has to sign a waiver. Everyone in the writer's room has to sign a waiver. And I do 2 things. First of all, I walk in there and everyone gets roundhouse kicked in the face. The other thing is everybody has to bring out their phone, open up the Twitter app. Then I pull out a baseball bat and I smash all their phones right in front of them and say, this site is fucking forbidden in this dojo. Like, y'all delete your Twitter. No, I'm like, I don't care how many followers you got. You're deleting your Twitter profile. You are not on Twitter ever again as long as you're writing at this company. If like my new mandate for anybody that's an employee is, even if you already have a profile, you have two choices. You can delete it, or you can delete it, or what we're going to do is we're going to have access to your thing, and you're not allowed to be on Twitter for more than 30 minutes a damn day. This site ain't influencing jack for you anymore, and we get to control your muted words because you ain't. And no, you don't get a burner profile. Because every company, their policy should be, aside from the PR team, nobody should be allowed on Twitter. At every company from now on, no one should be allowed on Twitter, because Twitter should no longer influence any of these shows, and Twitter should no longer influence any of these corporations, and none of it. You shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be allowed on. I'm serious, dead ass serious. Do you realize how much better all of our shit is if none of these writers, none of these directors, none of these actors, do you realize if they're not allowed to consume Twitter, if they're not allowed, if all they're allowed to do is post, and never allowed to respond or read, and all they're allowed to do is broadcast and post to Twitter, or someone does it for them, and that's it, you realize how much better all our stuff is? Because then nothing they make is reacting to Twitter at all, and the bubble that is Twitter. Do you realize how much better our lives get if none of these shows or any of this stuff ever has to react to Twitter ever again?
Roberto, look at what happened with Batwoman. That CW show. Remember how they were trying to like reply to every comment in every episode? Every episode was a parody of a comment that was on Twitter.
I got one for you.
I could have wrote that show.
It's like, that's the Batman costume. Oh, look better.
I can give them all their diversity hires, and I can give them, because that's all that show was. That show was a walking diversity hire.
Exactly.
And I could have given them all of those diversity hires, but I could have actually just wrote objectively good.
A better show, yeah.
I got a show for you that if it was made today, this is like the ultimate like woman heroine TV show that's ever
Buffy
made.
Vampire.
This show would have been, if this show would have been made today, it would have never been a good show.
It would have hit different.
It ruined it. You know what show that is?
What was that?
Dark Angel?
Xena the Warrior Princess.
Whoa.
Xena, yes.
The Warrior Princess today.
Yes, the goat.
Yes.
That is the goat.
Xena, that was their show, right?
Yes. That is the goat.
Oh my God, I love every minute of that.
Okay. Scenes where, look, they show that she's strong. They show that she's a warrior, but they also show vulnerability.
She's a badass and vulnerable. Yeah.
On multiple different levels of in different traumas that she had to overcome, that I don't think they would let that happen today. The fact that they put her on a cross, broke her legs, and then she had to heal herself and retrain to go back to get the dude that did that to her. Like, I don't even think they would have
never allowed her to go through that level of brutality as a warrior, which means they're disrespecting what a warrior goes through, regardless of gender. Is that you, as a warrior, you will suffer, you will be brutalized, you will not be spared anything because you are a warrior. It doesn't matter what you look like. Exactly. And then two, they wouldn't have respected the fact that it's like all of her abilities were not given and granted. They were like earned, and they were earned in fire and blood, like, straight up. And no one fought her battles for her at all. And like, she was a warrior born and bred, but she worked for it too. She had the gifts, but not without. It's like, what did Luke say? Talent without training is nothing. She still did the work at the end of the day. She did. And and even Dark Angel.
Battle? Yeah, I remember when she was in the woods and like that spiritual battle she was having with herself, like with the other woman across. I'm talking about, like in the other planes or whatever. She was like fighting her in her mind. Now, if this was done in today's time, if this was done in today's time, I guarantee you that fight would have ended just as quick as it did in She-Hulk with the lawyer scene when she first transformed. It would have happened just like that. Like they would have had some weird red herring as to how she beats her, as opposed to a long drawn out fight.
A long dried out brutal campaign of attrition. It's like we had strong. Ironically, in an era that they said we needed to do so much work to overcome from. Isn't it ironic that we as men, we appreciate actual female heroes? We had female heroes. We had female heroes we looked up to and that we admired, and that we can say today with all certainty that they would not be allowed to go through their story arc that defined their character and made them strong and conveyed that.
Who remembers Black Scorpion? Do you remember that show, Black Scorpion?
I
Never saw
don't, but
him
I
before.
remember Highlander the Raven. I remember Highlander
Highlander.
the Raven,
There's
because they had Highlander, then they did a spin-off of one of
Yep.
Duncan Cloud's love interest and gave her own thing. So it was Highlander the Raven. I remember that. I remember the original La Femme Nikita, which was amazing with Peta Wilson.
Ooh.
I still liked the Nikita they did today. They actually did that tastefully, and despite this era. And so I remember that. I remember
Buffy the
Dark
Vampire
Angel.
Slayer for sure. Dark
Buffy the
Angel.
Vampire Slayer. Dark Angel was the GOAT, and that was like OG and everything like that, and that was dope. I remember that, and I remember they did some other really cool stuff.
Yeah,
that
a lot
had
of the other ones were support characters, like an Angel. You had him in
Cordelia and
Supernatural. I think they had some.
I don't think those were as good, because I don't think it was like stronger female leads, but I'm talking about like really strong female leads that objectively, and that the narrative around those female leads wasn't always centered around a man. In fact, it was in defiance of that. La Femme Nikita in particular was really aggressive about that, and I think it was like the original from Nikita, the one that was really dark from back in the day on USA Networks. On USA, that was like really good. There was another one too. There was a show called The Net. It was, you remember Angela Bennett, The Net. She was set up. It was Enemy of the State before Enemy of the State. You know what I'm saying? So like, I remember these shows with these objectively strong female heroines, and it wasn't contrived. It was never anything faked. It was all realism. It was based in a lot of realism. Even the fantasy elements were based in realism, and they were well written and they were respected, and not everything on scene was in contrast to a man or any of these things. They did it without being on the nose, without being in your face, without forcing anything down your throat. And it was smart writing, and you respected and you loved these women, and you rooted for these women, and you were like, yeah, and you were like, go get them. And it's like, and you were like, they were just objectively good characters. Even there was another USA show, and it wasn't that long ago. There was another really good USA show. Do you remember Covert Affairs?
Yeah.
Piper, Covert Affairs. That was so good. It was so good, and it was so well done, and it was strong, and it was objectively good. Good. And that was good writing, and that was good, strong female character. It was a good character regardless of what their gender would be. It would be a good character no matter who it was, and the writing was spot on, and it didn't objectify them. It didn't hypersexual. Like, none of the shows that we're even talking about, whenever they were somewhat objectified or hypersexualized, it was part of their ploy. It was part of their ploy to make someone underestimate them, because of the commentary of, that's why you're going to underestimate me, and I'm about to beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
It was like,
I showed the
even in movies,
the first 2 episodes, me and my girlfriend, we watched it. Maybe about 75% into the first episode, she was like, okay, we get it.
yeah.
And I was just sitting there. I was just like, hey, they're telling it for y'all. And she's like, yeah, but I get it. Like, shit, I get it.
you know who was
I didn't say anything.
She was defeated.
What was like, what was like bad writing in general, but it wasn't that they wrote the character poorly. At least the Elektra movies, it was bad writing, but they didn't write her character badly. It was, they wrote everything around her character badly, but at least she was like solid. You know what I'm saying? They wrote her to the nines. They did I missed that. I missed when they had Jennifer Gardner as Elektra, to be honest. I do like the new actor. Oh, you know who they did a really good job with without making it like stupid, and like what proves that they could do better? Jessica Jones.
Yeah, it was good. It was just
at least her character
was cool. Yeah, the character was written well. The show just wasn't.
Yeah, but Jessica Jones, but her and even her sister Patsy, they were written really well, and their writing respected their trauma as characters. Their writing respected their traumas as characters, not even just as women, as characters who that is the backstory of their particular abuse as children and even as adults. And it respected that, and it was well done. And the female characters in Luke Cage, the black female characters in Luke Cage were written exceptionally well, in my opinion.
Definitely.
They're written very well.
We're having this conversation.
I think we're gonna go ahead, Trent.
I'll say this as a last memento for everybody to hate me. The CGI that was in Catwoman was better than the CGI.
You mean the Halle Berry Catwoman?
Yes,
Halle Berry
2004
Catwoman.
Halle Berry
He's talking
Catwoman
about
CGI was better than
I
the
don't. I have to
2022
look. I have to
CGI.
All right.
check.
She-Hulk.
On that note, you all.
I have to check to make sure that's the cap. I have to check. It's like,
Plane on that note. I appreciate all y'all. Now, I
I
appreciate y'all being in the chat, but it's time to go. I appreciate
That's a rough moment.
Shout out to my man.
I don't know.
Shout out to my man Roberto. Shout out to Big Cloud for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Y'all enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the long weekend. We will be back here next week. But until then, you all, peace.